Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 158. Down here to talk about a bunch of wrestling from the week once we're done talking about other nonsense at the beginning here. And you are 1 year older than we last time we met down here for this.
Indeed.
Do you feel much more mature and wise?
I am ready to spread my knowledge this week.
Just a whole bunch of wisdom descended upon you as you turned 16.
I've got a whole new wealth of knowledge since yesterday.
Right. So we, what have we done since last week? Another trip to Canada's Wonderland, right?
When was that? That feels
that
like
was Monday
long ago.
because I would like to take credit for looking at the
that
weather
feels so much longer.
and going, hey, it's terrible weather right now, but it's supposed to clear out where this park is by like 4 o'clock. And we drove through some rain,
Yeah.
like lightning.
It was raining when we got there.
It was for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then it was
Gotta
fine.
find a day to do that again. That actually did work out.
It was a
quite nicely.
smart way to go, right? A lot of
Mhm.
families leave, and then the rain scared a lot of people
Well,
away.
at the end of the night, me and my friend were just line hopping.
Yeah.
The two rides next to each other.
Because sometimes you'll wait on those rides for an hour or more, and you guys were getting on one to the next to the next.
We did
sort of thing.
the time warp one, the one where you're lying down. We did it legitimately 3 times in a row.
Right.
With no problem.
It's all about timing, and when you have season passes, it's the risk isn't as bad, right? Like if it poured rain and we had to leave early, whatever, we can just go back. It's not like we paid that day.
And the refillable drinks.
Right. Yeah, you pay. It's $35 for a drink, and it comes in this refillable
I guess
plastic.
it depends on your
cup.
usage of it. Like, I don't know.
Well, based on the prices in the park. So that's $35 plus tax for the season. So as long as you keep bringing that cup, you can fill it 1,000,000 times for free.
Yeah.
So
That's true. Well, it depends. I probably only used it like one. I used it like the one time once when we were there last time. Like,
your brother used it a lot, I think.
yeah, I have to chug it, and sometimes it makes me sick.
It just stops me from drinking water, which is a bad idea in a long
like
day in the
my
sun.
friend's his thing was because he got like one of the high C drinks, like the fruit juice drinks that I got both times, and like he was saying like he usually gets the fizzy drink because then you don't drink it as fast.
Fair. It's probably true.
Yeah, because I feel like that would, if it was me, I just wouldn't drink it.
Right. And then the day before your birthday, you and a few buddies went to like a inflatable. Is that what they're called? It's like
They are
obstacle course
inflatable.
on water,
Yeah.
basically, right? So I don't know what you
Yeah, those things
technically
are cool.
call it. It is cool. So you did that. I like the idea that you book a
I do
couple
that.
hours, right? And it's like, how many people would you say were in your group?
Like what? Just us?
Was there more people? I didn't go, right? So
there's a bunch more people there.
but like in your 2-hour block, how many people would you say?
Decent amount of people.
Yeah, but not like you had to wait for anything, really?
No, you just run around and do whatever.
Right. So you did that, and then your actual birthday, we'll get back to it in the figuring it out at the end of this episode.
Mhm.
But we sort of drove around and
Also got a
looked
book.
for collectibles.
It was very close to only getting a book.
Right, which you were not thrilled with. I mean, you like the book, obviously. You want
I
the
wanted
book,
the book, but like to come home with only
really
a book
book.
when I'm 16,
Right.
I don't think that really happens.
No, not usually the ideal. And then, I don't know, we've just been having a crazy heat wave, but I don't think that's unique anywhere or unique to here because it's happening everywhere. But like, so Celsius today hit 37. So I don't know
Celsius.
what that is
Very
in
Canadian.
37. Let's see.
Disgusting.
So my theory is times 2 plus 30. So that would put it at about 74 plus 30, 104. That can't be right.
If
It
that's
must be
how that
lower
works,
than-
I don't even know.
It's
You know.
99. It's close. So it gets you in the ballpark, right? That little technique. So 99 degrees Fahrenheit today. Very, very hot. But I think it's going to cool down in the next few days. But we've
Mhm.
got a Wacka family coming over, your mom's side coming over on Sunday
And
for a
head
bit
back
of
up to
a
Wonderland.
pool party. Then back to Canada's Wonderland for more amusement park
And
shenanigans
it
with
would be
a couple little kids that time, though.
And it would appear my Fan Expo plans are being finalized.
Good. So you're going to spend 2 or 3 days at Fan Expo
I think
with your
it's
buddies?
3, 4.
Wow.
It's more.
You sure it's be that interesting that many days?
Either that or you get to do crap in Toronto.
That's true.
Either or.
That's true.
Because if you pay for the whole thing, it's kind of like a Wonderland thing. Like you
Yeah.
can just like
Go.
if we aren't there that long the one day, then it's
Right.
like
Doesn't
and yeah, for those people who don't know, it's Fan Expo. It's like probably our biggest Comic-Con kind of thing.
yeah.
Like there's just the San Diego Comic-Con last week, obviously, which that's probably the big one in terms of
Is it at the
Comic-Con
same?
conventions,
Is that convention
I
center
think so.
again?
Yeah, I think it's Metro Convention
Nice.
Center or whatever. But on March break, I think we probably would have talked about it. But
Yeah.
I went to Toronto Comic-Con, which is like a little smaller. But then me and my friends liked it, so we're going to.
So is this one bigger?
I
Similar
think
size?
it's bigger. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
I think I'm pretty sure Hayden Christensen's there.
Cool.
That's the guy.
I know that's the guy. He is Canadian, so
I'm debating. My friend really wants to meet him, which I would too. But when my friend went to meet, Andy Serkis.
Who?
Andy Serkis.
No.
He's Snoke in Last Jedi. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You'd know him if you saw
Sure,
him.
probably.
Anyway, like it's really quick because obviously they have a lot of lines, so it's just like bang done, right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So that's why I'm kind of not wanting to, and it'll depend on how much money I have when the time comes. Like
Right.
I'll think about doing that. And the only person I'm like I'll absolutely do is if Sam Witwer's there, but he's not there.
Who's that?
Voices Darth Maul.
Oh, fair enough.
And Star Killer and the Force Unleashed games. So mostly Darth Maul because Darth Maul's my boy.
Darth Maul is your boy. Always has been.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. Something to look forward to, I guess. And you're
Indeed.
hoping to see your uncle in his establishment downtown when
It's
you're
fine establishment.
one of the days when you're down there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I figure we got a bunch of wrestling. So we're going to talk about AEW Dynamite, obviously. News and rumors will be next. And then usual stuff, some trivia, Highspots and Restholds. We're going to preview an NXT Great American Bash because it's a PLE, right?
Sunday.
So
it is.
And it's coming up on Sunday.
And it's a thing you watch.
And then we'll wrap up with Jack telling us about his quest for figures on his birthday, if he found any or didn't find any. And I think that's pretty much the lineup today. Are you ready to get started?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, first thing, as I said, is we'll take a look at some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. All right, so talking about some ratings. I mean, it's not as fun as talking about your favorite Trons that had letters blocked out and spelled other things.
Letters
but
and spell out different words.
Right.
Yeah,
but,
that's the best.
So
nothing can compare.
NXT this week averaged 703,000 viewers, so good number again. Down 5.8, but like over 700, so that's really good. Earned a .23 in the key demographic, up 9.5%. So it ties their best since I think it was April 2021 demo numbers. So ties it with Rollins from, what was that, June 20th, World Heavyweight Defense against Breaker. So again,
Meaner than evil.
This main roster experiment seems to be getting them consistently around 700,000, which for them is good. So must be something. It's Dirty Dom, right? He's a draw, I guess. I don't know. Collision, 618,000 viewers, up 6.7% and a .18. So down 10% just to throw in Collision numbers. Dynamite, 898,000 viewers, so close to 900, which is pretty good for them. Down 5.8%, 0.29 in the key demo, down 14.7, which is significant. But they were head-to-head with coverage of FIFA Women's World Cup. So you know the numbers for wrestling and stuff. Women's World Cup, 4.38 million viewers and a 1.2 rating in the demo. So obviously fantastic.
Very nice.
Relative to wrestling, I don't know. To sports, I imagine that's a really good number. So stiff competition for Dynamite, but numbers pretty good for everyone.
Interesting. Okay, I'll lead with the funny one because I told you.
You like to do that.
It amuses me.
Yep.
It's not like it amuses me. Okay, so I'll read you like the generic news line that Woke Culture has, and then you can guess.
Oh boy.
Who I'm talking about.
Okay.
And I'll try to, maybe we'll work with hints after. Okay, so current AEW star pitches one more world title run. So think kind of an older person who's held world titles elsewhere.
Sting.
No. Not, maybe worse.
Jeff Jarrett.
No. Oh, you almost had it.
I almost had it.
Oh.
Jeff Jarrett was almost having it.
In a way.
Sanjay Dutt?
No.
Jay
Like
Lethal.
an older guy. Who's held world titles elsewhere. You're not a huge fan, neither am I nowadays.
And he's in AEW.
He's in AEW currently. He's held world titles elsewhere.
He's held world titles elsewhere.
In a couple different companies.
And he's kind of old.
He's old. And he's not great anymore.
Jericho?
No. Worse.
Worse than Jericho.
Yeah.
Champion in other companies, kind of old.
He's been absent in recent weeks for a
Jeff
specific
Hardy?
reason. Yeah.
Oh no. No
He
thanks.
said, and I quote, he hopes deep within his soul that
Of
AEW
course.
will give him one more solo world championship reign someday.
If you had read the quote first and given me the soul part, I would have known it was Jeff Hardy. We could have saved a lot of time.
The wording in that is funny in
It's
itself.
totally
but
him.
I just think it's funny that he hopes for a world title reign. Just not only is he older, but just with himself just being Jeff Hardy.
Hey,
I
older.
would find that questionable even like 10 years ago if he was in AEW.
Man is exactly my age. I believe we looked this up before.
I think
he and I are the same age. I'm pretty sure.
I would honestly laugh at even him wanting a tag title run, although that seems a little more feasible because that almost happened, and we will get there. But
I'm technically older, born in the same year though.
When
he's born in August 31st.
So yeah, and he's the younger one, right? So Matt's older.
That's right.
Okay.
So I threw this in because we could attend this, right? Sonata has been announced that he will. And and the phrasing is will be in action, so not like appearing, but actually in a match at Emergence. So that's August 27th in Toronto, right? So we could go to that. Do you want me to try and get tickets? Maybe?
No, that's Fan Expo, I believe.
Oh, is it?
Ooh.
Maybe I wrote go solo mission on that one because I would like to go still.
Drag like Mike or something if you want him to go wrestle.
True. The card so far is.
I saw there's the Knockouts.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big enough nerd. I would go to a wrestling show by myself, and I wouldn't even care.
That's not. That's
because I know Braden and Davey of Poison Rana would probably be there.
Probably like. For me, I
just don't care.
It's not like I wouldn't go alone. I would just rather not.
You're already a certain level of not coolness going to a wrestling show. No offense, because we all love wrestling, but it's not.
We know what we are.
At least we do, yeah.
Yeah.
So going alone is just, I don't know. That doesn't really bother me, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So far, the only matches I think confirmed are Deonna Trinity, which, fine.
It's a rematch.
Alexander and Time Machine, which is Kushida and Sabin and Shelley, right? Taking on Moose, Myers, Bully Ray, Leo Rush.
Gotta get that Bully Ray in.
And then Sonata. So to me, that's not super appealing.
No, and here's the thing: the multi-man tag that rules out 2 title matches already. Not only that, but your world title because Shelley's occupied and Rush is occupied.
Right.
Speaking of Impact, though, I did see one thing. Did you see because they're doing another joint show with New Japan?
They are.
You see who Shelley's defending his title against?
I did, but I forget. I actually saw it today.
It's very easy to guess. He's defending his world title against someone, like just world title caliber. And
Okada.
No. Yeah, right.
Ishii. No,
Mm-mm.
Who?
Tanahashi.
Oh,
obviously.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Gotta love it.
Tanahashi has lost a step or two, unfortunately.
A little bit. Yeah, like I don't think I really care because I thought he was fine with Moxley. I don't think I really noticed that much, but the MJF match disillusioned me a bit. Like it wasn't a bad match. I just didn't connect with it at all.
And I've been dabbling in some G1 and it's been more of the same. It's like, yeah, it's fine, but nothing like
Osprey's taking it. Osprey better take that.
He's been having great matches. I haven't seen many of them.
Finally beat Okada.
But I did like
his new move is pretty nuts.
Him and Shingo, I think I watched. Right, yeah. That was cool.
The new movie he's got is pretty wild.
Yeah.
The one I showed you, the Leap of Faith, I think.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyway, sorry, your news. I've got 3 or 4 more.
Speaking of Osprey, I told you about like the rumored match for him at All In is
underwhelming.
Jericho.
Underwhelming.
Dude, that's super underwhelming, and that's just to say like I personally anything other than an Omega rematch is underwhelming. But here's
the thing: if he can pull an awesome match out of Jericho, that's
true.
And I don't want to say Jericho's awful because he's fine, but he's not peak Jericho. So if Osprey can somehow and get it out of him is probably too strong a word. It's not like Jericho's not involved, but you know what I mean.
Up to that level,
like end up with a really good match with Jericho. That's
but
feather in his cap.
I don't want to take the chance.
And there's many other matchups that I would rather see.
Oh yeah.
Or obviously Omega run it back.
I saw someone say like they shouldn't do that because it's a New Japan feud and they should end it there. But I think ending it on AEW still is easier for us to watch.
Correct.
B, I think ending it on Osprey's turf is pretty sweet. Yep. I think New Japan wouldn't really care. That's eyes on their belt anyways,
right.
Or their guy regardless, right? If let's say Osprey wins the G1, which he should, that's eyes on him, right?
Yeah,
I mean, as if there's not eyes on him already from his AEW exploits, but like. It's the biggest show in their company, so it would probably be good for him. I think, I don't know how you couldn't do Osprey Omega 3 because it's left unanswered. They've teased a third one, and just it doesn't work for me. And they're saying because of some Callis connection, but I don't see that. And isn't Callis a heel? So if Jericho joins with him, he wouldn't be a face. So then why is he facing Osprey?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It just doesn't work for me on a few levels. And I'm hoping it's just a rumor. Because to me, it has to be Omega. We need the feud ender, and I think it has to be All In. Because I don't know what else you could do really.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
That does not work for me in any capacity.
No. Is it me? It's me.
Yep.
Kevin Owens has been wrestling with a fractured rib, apparently, which
Ugh.
my understanding would be like crazy painful, right? And just difficult to breathe and
Especially
whatever.
when he's like, because he does like the frog splash and he's always doing sentons.
He does
and,
and like cannonballs and all
yeah,
kinds of
it's just,
stuff. That
I
you
feel like
see-
it would be generally inconvenient, but like just especially with some of the things he does, I feel like it'd be especially just kind of like annoying.
So this was saying that they're waiting for him to finish a current storyline to give him a break, and unsure how long out of action or if it would affect the status of the tag titles, or if it's something like
Right.
you can give him a few weeks rest and have him in segments and get away with it or whatever.
You could
sort of thing.
definitely get away with having him in segments.
You
but
can
that
with
just
him.
depends on the time
Right.
parameters. But like in terms of just it being Owens, he could definitely.
And WWE's
out.
in no hurry to develop a tag team, so you can probably, you know what I mean? They're not looking to like, oh man, we got like 4 tag teams we got in the chamber ready to just go
Damn
crazy.
it. Owens is injured. We had
Right?
so many teams ready.
Pause all
Ah,
the amazing tag
shucks.
team stuff we had ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to put a pause on the whole division just because that's the only reason they would pause the tag division. There's no other.
Otherwise, a juggernaut.
There's nothing else.
For sure.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, exactly.
Your turn.
To continue my all-in thread for one more thing. Jamie Hayter with her shoulder injuries, she might be out for that. She might be missing that.
That's too bad.
Leaning that way, yeah.
That division needs something.
and she's from that neck of the woods,
Right.
so that would kind of
Good.
kind of suck. And she's good, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she was involved with the Outcast, so bleh, but
So is everybody. Like, if you're a woman and you're gonna get on TV, guess what? Unless you're on Ring of Honor or the other one, Collision, I guess. Honestly, Willow and Athena are probably the 2 most interesting women in AEW's under their umbrella.
they're on
They're
at least,
Thursday nights.
Athena is for sure.
She's awesome, yeah. What do I have here? Roosh, one of my personal favorites. He signed a new contract with AEW, and I was telling you, Meltzer said something along the lines of the AEW's offer was far bigger than anyone in NXT was getting, so that WWE would have had to like offer him main roster money. And I'm happy. I really, really like
Which
Roosh.
obviously they probably aren't going to do.
He's definitely not used a lot right now, but I'm hoping, like I was telling you, that's because his contract was under negotiation.
I'm hoping we get like a full revive of
LFI.
Because I think that has potential as a cool heel faction.
Me too.
And I think you need to turn Andrade kind of back heel after he's done with the whole House of Black nonsense. It's kind of weird that he's just kind of face, but I'm willing to accept it for now. But I think you need to kind of get back to LFI after.
Me
I
too.
think that has potential. Get Jalistico in.
Right.
Obviously, I think a trio is as much as I love Andrade and Bruce together. I think a trio is a lot more better.
Just another group that you can do in whatever combination you want.
Exactly.
Yep.
Then I had the NXT confirm their next PLE,
right?
Which is reviving the No Mercy moniker for the first time since I want to say 20.
Don't I have a No Mercy DVD out there?
I think so.
I feel like Kane's bald.
Disc.
Is that
no?
That's
Unforgiven.
Right.
We don't know Mercy. It's got Kane's mask on it though.
Right.
The disc is missing from that. I know it's. I know
somewhere
it's
in
there.
the house.
It's probably somewhere in the house. Yeah. I want to say the last No Mercy was 2017. That's the last one I can remember, where there was Roman and Cena back when Roman had the vest.
Yep.
And Strowman and Lesnar. If that rings any bells?
Not really.
That's the one where Cesaro got his teeth knocked in his face.
Oh yeah, that was into the ring post, right? And they got shoved back into. That's so awful to think about.
That show.
Yeah.
I don't think there's No Mercy. So that's kind of cool. I saw the black and white logo look kind of cool. So
when did they give
September
a month?
30th? Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I do miss the takeovers, but I think even in this not horrible era of NXT, I don't think they live up to takeovers.
Oh God, no.
Even still.
No.
So, it's a double-edged sword. Like I'm disappointed there's no more takeovers because NXT just the PLE just without the takeover just feels weird.
I actually respect NXT for stop
I do.
using that brand.
That's the other end, right? Like I miss takeovers, but I respect them for not tarnishing the legacy.
Correct.
That's something they would totally do. So
100%.
It's honestly a miracle they haven't absolutely crapped on the legacy of takeovers.
It's surprising to me.
The last takeover was, remember when it was pretty much at the end of Black and Gold, right? Because Joe won the NXT Tough and Cross, which sounds so weird now. But then, because remember he vacated it pretty much like right after, and then they had the 4-way to crown the new champion. That was 2.0.
That's right.
Right? So The last takeover is pretty much the end. So yeah, No Mercy. I think that's a pretty cool one to go with.
Yep.
I like that.
I have no problem with that. Sounds familiar. I like it.
Weird with the takeovers.
Yeah. My final piece is Cody Rhodes vindicating me a little bit. Saying,
yeah, I saw that.
Saying that what he was doing at the end in AEW was, quote, too meta. And that he was trying to go in there and he says they were telling him what they want for you is to turn heel. So for me to do that, to turn heel, they want me to go out and say out loud that I'm not turning heel, right? Which is actually being a heel. And he says, but he thought it was over people's heads. So
I mean, hey, you got that.
Because it's me.
I got on there thanks to you.
Because it's me and the way I feel about Cody Rhodes. This goes through my filter of not liking him, and it's basically like I was doing something that was too smart for you people.
I could, yeah.
Right? It's how I choose to interpret Cody Rhodes. But I knew Cody, don't worry. I even thought it was heel probably before he was
probably a little before that. Definitely before that promo.
Before he was actually trying to be heel.
Oh my God. Speaking of Cody, I saw, like, I was watching, like, the reels on Instagram, and I saw a bit of the promo 10 racism.
Oh my God.
I love it so much.
I would go back and watch that again sometime.
Oh my God. We got to find some excuse to rewatch that, because that was awesome.
That was...
I watched, like, the exact moment he brings up the baby to end racism too. It's just, I love
his baby ended racism.
Rewatching that again, it brings me such joy for all the wrong reasons, because it's just like the way he phrases it too, like his like, it was just like the way he says. I can't do it justice. It's so
air
good.
To them, and that moment is just so
it's so
obnoxious
good,
to me.
Well, it's like it embodies everything I don't like about America, right? Just the whole American dream thing. I hate so much, because it's like Anyways, I'm not trying to do a whole anti-American thing, but
we love our American listeners.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all, but like that promo, it's so good. It's just I had to bring that up. It's just the exact moment when he brings up his baby is one of the best things I've ever seen.
But hey, racism died that day, so
racism died.
It's all worth it.
He made the world a better place, so who am I to criticize?
Correct.
Right? Like I'm just being a dick right now.
That's right. I'm out of news.
The last one I had was kind of going off of something we talked about a few weeks ago. Was Brian Pillman Jr. Now he's reportedly on his way to WWE. It's believed to either be in the process of being finalized, or it's already been or that's already been done.
Second generation star.
But like,
can't say
of
no.
whom?
I know.
It's really interesting to me.
His dad was a wrestler. Just let me Google that.
They're gonna feel like they could. I'm curious what they'll do with him, because like, not in terms of what they'll actually do with him, but like in terms of acknowledging his roots, because they could either
may very well change his name.
I could see them going like, because Ava, no mention of, and that to me is weird, because. And I think it's probably what we mentioned a while ago, is like, because she's not good right now, so they don't want to like they'll acknowledge it when they want to.
As soon as she's good,
I'm just surprised they don't.
She becomes the pebble.
Exactly. I'm surprised they've fought the urge to at all. Like, she's a 4th generation star, and not only that, but like the daughter of one of their greatest of all time.
Right.
That's crazy for them to like fight the urge to just go balls to the wall.
As soon as they can see that she can walk and chew gum, they're like, she's good enough. She's main roster. That
the
girl.
Descendant of High Chief Peter
That's
Maivia.
That's it.
Like,
would she be 4th generation? Oh my God,
that's just Vince's wet dream.
That's amazing.
But like, so obviously, like, they don't want to do that kind of thing with Pillman, right? Because Pillman, right?
So
like,
they just may never acknowledge it.
I could easily see them give him some weird whack ass name, like.
In which case, is he good enough, whatever enough, to make it without?
He's not.
That?
No.
Like, he's fine. Right?
Even with his dad's name in AEW, he didn't do crap.
True.
I think the most notable thing he did was he faced MJF at the first Grand Slam. Do you remember that?
I actually thought Griff Garrison was better than him.
Griff Garrison's alright. Do you remember Pillman having a big singles match in the stadium?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave him a shot.
Too, yeah.
Just because it was like weird. If you hadn't mentioned it, I might not have. But
that's true.
Yes.
Well, like, yeah. So he'll probably do okay. I could see him in NXT being decent, but like, unless they give him some interesting character, I don't know. They could do
loose cannon.
That worked out last time.
I actually feel like he could do that though.
Yeah, I think it's not like he couldn't do that, but it's more like
might be
WWE couldn't do that.
Yes.
I don't think they would. Not like, I just don't think they could pull it off the way they operate now.
No.
I mean, they could always they could add another root to that tree. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
There's always room for more.
Now there's 19 roots, right? We were joking about that because
like,
the whole 4 roots, 1 tree. When there's like 12 people standing,
there's like 16
behind you,
roots. Yeah.
It's not so great. But
so
anyways,
there's a lot more roots.
Seems like that might be over, but we'll get to that.
The tree's sprouting. You know?
Right. Okay, so we're done news and rumors and whatnot.
Mhm.
We should probably get into our in-depth review of the week.
Mhm.
Same one every week, and that's taking a look at this past Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, so tell me about the Dynamite that was the day before your 16th birthday, correct? Your
Mhm.
last day as a 15-year-old.
And we didn't watch it live this time.
We did not watch it live. It lasted one week of us watching it live.
Gotta give me something
We
real
watched
good. Maybe
we watched it very not live.
maybe when Grand Slam rolls around, if they have a good card for that, the stadium one.
Yeah.
That won't have Brian Pillman Jr. this time.
Because it doesn't matter to me, I don't get spoiled, but you, the minute stuff happens, you know.
Well,
so.
yeah, but it's also fun to watch it live.
It is. We can do it again. I don't mind.
Yeah, it just kind of depends.
Because we end up, like, the problem is you can't skip commercials, but on the flip side, we're always taking notes, and
Yeah.
commercials tend to be when we're
if we
like
pause and you get time to
a couple
catch up.
minutes, yeah. So it worked out well. But, all right, what happened on this week's Dynamite?
We got like another package starting us off, kind of like the one time when there was like, or we had like a weird thing starting us off, kind of like remember the one time Keith Lee and Darby Allin were at the start?
Right. Yeah, it was kind
Kinda
of out of the ordinary because it wasn't a match and it wasn't like a live in-ring
No,
segment.
it
It was
a
a
quick
pre.
package, kind of giving you a run up on the history with AR Fox and Darby Allin, just kind of showing how like AR Fox is a great guy. When he let Darby stay with him when Darby was living in his car, and his career kind of took off after that. So
And like Darby was talking about like seeing AR Fox's work ethic, right? And just like I had to surround myself with a guy like this if I was going to get better because he was nonstop apparently.
I liked it a lot. Obviously, a very real story here. And I think that's definitely part of what makes it good. It also serves as a way to show people why, like who don't really know Fox, what he's about character wise, and why you should like him.
Especially when looking,
and a connection to Darby helps.
And especially looking back and knowing what Fox
That's what I said. I got spoiled
later,
like earlier,
right?
so like that's why I said after the opener is like knowing what happens. I really enjoy
right
the
because
way
they're
they
setting.
set it
He's
up.
such a baby face, right? Like, and I really liked the segment too. I thought it was. I'm pretty sure it's probably accurate, and maybe they're like embellishing stuff a little bit, but I'm pretty sure most of this is true. And yeah, because it's rooted in reality, it sounded awesome. And again, I love that they're giving any sort of context to AR Fox because he's awesome, right? And he's been, I think they said he's been wrestling for 16 years. So I'm glad. I want him to move past this. Like, he can have a good match with anyone, never win, and never really have any character.
Everybody, do smooth
right. So I'm glad they're putting some effort into AR Fox, which we see a lot of on this show, right? So
yeah, it was. if anything, it was an AR Fox centric show.
It was, and this was a really
degree.
cool segment to start, like a departure.
No, I'm not complaining.
A departure from what they normally do, but I thought it was really effective.
Yeah, I liked it, and yeah, just like knowing what happens, I really like how they set it up. It works really well, and that's an effective turn. So then we roll right into AR Fox challenging Orange Cassidy for the AEW International Championship.
Yes.
And this was his 27th defense, I think.
Something ridiculous.
That's my
crazy
number.
And I'm not sick of it yet.
No.
And I usually get sick of stuff.
No, because it's, I don't know, they're just playing it good.
It's funny because I wasn't even the biggest, and I'm not the biggest Orange Cassidy fan, right? Like, I'm not, but
I think I got
this is, and I'll talk about it after the results. But sorry, go ahead. Just talk about it.
It's
I'll hold my opinion.
They're keeping it kind of fresh. Like it's like part of it's they keep giving you good opponents, right? And then like also the mounting injuries is something to kind of continue on, every time. So yeah, but we'll kind of talk about that after, I guess.
And then it's like everybody's lining up to face him because he's more and more depleted, and Darby Allin's asking him a favor, and like so it's all cool.
Yeah, and his character works to be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yes, I don't care. Well, fine, I'll wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a bit of holds and counters early on. Fox ducked an orange punch, like kind of went down and kicked back up.
Yep.
Then hidden enziguri, and that'll come into play later, which I like. Fox ran on the apron and he did like kind of the ricochet move. He did like a one step off the side of the turnbuckle, did a moonsault to the outside.
Very clean.
Cool. Yeah, just really fast. I remember Ricochet used to do that a lot.
Yeah, he did.
That was one of his like flip moves on them when he debuted on the main roster. That was one of the things he'd do a lot because they toned him down.
Yes, they did.
Now he just has a shooting star like a chump.
And still can't really talk for whatever reason.
Never
learned how to speak.
At least he's getting a program with Logan Paul.
True.
Fox blocked a tilt-a-whirl DDT, countered in like a twisting suplex for 2.
Looked cool. They called it
it's not a brain buster.
It was not a brain buster.
That's
we will see a brainbuster later.
We will.
But this was not one of them.
Brainbuster and a half. Fox went for a cutter as he does, but Cassie blocks. Then Cassie went for one as he never does. Then Fox blocked that. Then they kind of did like a double neckbreaker spot, which let them both down.
Right.
Fox did like this really cool evasion to avoid a slingshot move in the ring. Like Cassie was going for he was slingshotting in, and Fox did something like he went out of the ring. Like I don't know, it was some cool thing. Then he did like a slingshot, sent Tomiko into the ring. Then Tope con Hilo on the outside. Then a swanton back in the ring for 2. He typically comes down pretty nice on the swanton.
Absolutely.
So he comes down heavy on that.
Yep.
Speaking of swantons, haven't seen Wardlow in a while. Ah, shucks.
Missing him.
Missing him dearly.
He is missing. But you found him, if you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying.
That'll make sense later, folks.
Mm-hmm. And why do I have a hair in my mouth? I don't understand. Cassie sticks Fox with a tilt-a-whirl DDT. But that was pretty gnarly.
Yes. Oh yeah, he sold it. I mean,
Yeah.
I was like
start to remember.
RVD cell, basically. Yeah, he stayed like vertical on his neck.
That was a great DDT cell.
It was.
In general, DDT I always enjoy. Murphy sells the crap out of it, and then Pete Dunne deserves respect for DDT cell because the best counter is DDT out of the bitter end. I remember Tyler Bates did that. I remember Gargano did that in the 5-way that I love. Like it's just, and he sells the crap out of it every time. Murphy does it. Dunne does that.
RVD.
Rollins used to sell it pretty
okay.
good. There's someone else I'm thinking who I think Fletcher sold the crap out of it in his match.
Did. He did
like,
take one.
There was a couple DDTs where he just sold the crap out of it.
Yes.
It works with Cassidy because you just need
Cassidy hits like 5 of them in a match.
Yeah,
and that doesn't even bother me. I don't know what it is.
I like the diving DDT, which is not my favorite move, but I like the diving DDT in the tilt-a-whirl DDT.
Yeah.
And it's like, as long as you get someone to sell the DDT good, which he has faced Murphy, funny enough.
Yeah.
They can just sell the crap out of that. So yeah, this one was really nice. Just got me thinking about some good DDT sells. Always appreciated. That was followed up with a beach break for a near fall, so Fox kicked out of that. That was cool. There was the modified avalanche Spanish 5 from Fox for 2, where like Cassie's already on the ropes, like on the corner, and then Fox is kind of like runs up. He like does like this. He like
seated,
bounces
right?
his legs off and then flips. Like I remember Kalisto did that. I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a callback.
He's coming to Impact. I think it's for one of their.
Awesome.
I think it's for one of the. I think Chicago Heat. Like it's like one of the ones that's not televised, but they give it a name.
He was actually cool in ring.
Like yeah, one of their like live event ones, kind of like the Australian tour or the Summer Sizzler. Like it's the thing they do, but it's not televised for some reason.
Yes, it's like their house show tour,
but it's like I don't know. It's weird.
It's like how WWE calls their house show stuff a tour too, right?
But they always only do like the Road to WrestleMania. Like there's holiday ones.
Your mom would be like, "There's tickets for WWE, whatever," and I'd be like, "That's house show." Not that I care. I enjoy house shows, but
no,
she didn't know the difference.
Yeah. Well, she wouldn't know.
She would not know.
And then sometimes they do like the televised house shows, like Starrcade or my favorite, or Starrcade or Roadblock. That one time they did, or you know my favorite one is
what?
The one that was on my birthday. Remember what it was called?
No.
Smackville.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's solid. I don't remember that.
I just remember watching it at Paul's because it was on my birthday.
Right.
And it had Kofi and Ziggler and I think Samoa Joe in the main event. Don't know why I remember that.
Weird.
I just remember the name because it's awesome. It's just that's such a great name.
It is.
Then there was a Rolling Thunder on the apron from Fox. That was kind of cool. Then the finish came when it was kind of like a callback to earlier in the match. He faked an orange punch, so Fox did like the kip up duck again, but then Cassidy grabbed his ankle, twisted a bit, then rolled him up in the mousetrap for the win.
Yeah, it looked cool.
Yeah, so I like that because it was kind of like circled back around. Then he kind of offered a handshake. Fox kind of took it, then put the sunglasses on Fox. Fox took him off, broke the sunglasses, and blast Cassidy with the forearm. Then he's leaving kind of like, he's like distraught about it, kind of like regretting what he did. And it's like kind of like it was just like kind of heat of the moment, angry outburst kind of thing. Darby comes down, he's like shoving him, kind of like, he's like, what was that? He keeps shouting, that was embarrassing. What the hell was that? And Fox was like, I heard him say that it was a mistake. Like you can see he's kind of like, it's not like him, which obviously they set up earlier, and you can just kind of tell. Like I thought Fox sold it pretty well. I like that, especially knowing what happens later. I thought Fox sold it really good. Like kind of like the tease of like, obviously the turn, but like he made it seem like if he didn't turn, that could have been totally fine. So, you know what I mean?
I didn't love Darby Allin's reaction to it, and I didn't love Fox's reaction to his reaction, if that makes sense. But everything up to then, I was cool with.
I thought Darby's reaction was fine. It was a little much, though. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It made sense, but it was a little much, I feel like.
Yes.
And then Mox paradigm shifted. Cassidy.
Right, as payback.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, man, Cassidy just has like, I was trying to quantify it or put it into words, this incredible knack of like repeatedly creating an environment where you believe the challenger can win, even though you know he can't, right? Like AR Fox isn't winning this match, but
I
we're
thought
into
Fletcher
it.
had a good shot.
We're
and I
into
didn't
it.
think
The
he was
crowd's into the near falls, right? And like, it's just another really good match in a string of strong title defenses for Cassidy. And AR Fox is a great choice for an opponent because you're going to get to, especially with Cassidy telling the story of being run down and injured, you can showcase a ton of cool offense, right? Against Cassidy right now, kind of like Darby Allin, same sort of vein.
Cassidy can be on the back pedal, and it's not like oh, you're making the champion look bad, or like it's not
Fox,
like it works, right?
And Fox on offense is awesome, so this built into a really good match. And
there was
same story.
There's a bizarre lack of cutters though.
Cassidy has to find a way to win, right? This is the story they're telling, and I am still here for it. And if this is a heel turn for Fox, again, at least it's something, right? I want them to put some energy into him because he deserves it. So I'm fine with whatever.
It seems like
doing.
They are here, which I think that's cool.
And I love Angry Mox. That was my only other comment. He was great.
Yeah, that was a funny little bit. I feel like there's not been a lot of Mox Cassie interactions ever. I don't
recall
anything.
But he storms down to a ring really believably, that Moxley kid.
I love that. I was just I'm looking forward to when G1's done, they can pick up the Kingston thread.
Because when I was just gonna say, Eddie Kingston's the other guy that makes me feel it when he walks. Just even walking to the ring, he's like, you get something off of it.
Pissed, another strong match from Cassie. Enjoyed this as I expected. Fox is great in the ring. He's unique. I figured it would be good, and it was a nice combination. I thought the finish was really cool too, because it kind of like Cassie learned from early in the match and used it to dupe Fox. I thought that was really cool, actually. Again, we said before, not true beats Cassie for the title, but it better be someone good if the reign keeps going this strong. It's pretty surprising how well this has gone.
Yep.
He's been champion since October 12th. I was there.
Arguably their top babyface in the company right now, right?
Unless you want to count MJF as that. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
It's weird because I remember we were both kind of disappointed when Pac lost the belt. And it was a really weird choice, but I think it's turned out far for the best.
And I just thought there was a shelf life on Cassidy's character. But
this is like a fresh...
They found a way...
They freshened it up.
Right.
Which is, I guess, like that's what you have to do. And they found a way to do that. So I like... And it makes the title mean something too. I personally would still like Jay White to take that, but
and the bottom line, he keeps having really entertaining matches with everybody, right?
So I'd put him. I'd throw Davis at him just to get an Aussie Open on there again.
Could be a Wrestler of the Year candidate, kind of like Dax Harwood was for the first half of the year last year.
I'm not sure who I'd pick, but Cassidy, I would at the very least absolutely nominate Cassidy.
Yep, me too.
I'm not sure if he would get it, but like he would absolutely be in there.
Yep.
Fox's bit post match was interesting. I thought it was like a heel turn that seems to be like kind of heat of the moment, like which I like because it's sometimes people that happens.
Sure,
right? That's a realistic thing. Like sometimes you just like poor judgment, or like you just get pissed and you just do something, right? So I think that works. And obviously having been spoiled beforehand, and obviously now talking about it, we know where it goes. But I like how they used I like how they used the pre-match package to paint Fox in a really positive light, make it why like he's a good guy, why he's someone to root for, right? And why he deserves the shot he's getting. And then they use this to set up some frustrations with, like, maybe losing or blowing another shot. And then also frustrations with Darby because, like, maybe Darby's overreaction, which you're complaining about, is a driving force for him, right? Yep. So I like how they set him up as why the turn could be shocking because he's a good guy and also maybe some motivation there. Like, it's a really short build, but I think they did a good
I like
job
the way this
it.
went, too.
It's a nice, like, 1-2 punch of a setup kind of thing.
And I kind of like when there's a thread of a story throughout an episode.
Yeah.
Like NXT used to do that, and they used to do it well sometimes.
And AEW's done that before, too. I can't think of any.
Now NXT does it sometimes, and it's really irritating, right? When it's Briggs and Jensen.
3-part segments.
Right,
or remember the Way always had, like, really weird
Yes. And
things.
I wasn't fully on board.
They were spying on Index. That's what it was.
Right.
I hate Index. Ugh.
But yeah, so I like when there's a storyline throughout.
Yeah, and I think this one's done really well, and it's nice to put it on a guy who
couldn't happen to a better guy. I think probably. I don't know.
Yeah, good for
him.
I
like Fox, and he's due.
And I like where it leaves us as well.
Yep.
Which we'll get there. Next we had a quick Blood and Guts recap package. That was a thing we saw.
It is.
And
it was good.
It was coolio.
It was.
Jericho and Callis interviews next. Callis says, and I quote, outpouring of interest. Nope. Callis says they got to give the people a little something, and he has arranged a tag match for Jericho and Takeshita. Hoo-hoo. And they could have the dream team for a tag match, get the creative juices flowing. He says the best part is they're facing Garcia and Guevara of Jazz next week. Jericho seems a little peeved by that, but he agrees to it. Callis shares a painting them in Bad News Allen. It's in the style of the Callis Takeshita graphic that I love. I did find the lady who did that
with Bad News Brown like over top of them, sort of, right? And
he's like, "Oh, that was what he would have wanted." I'm wondering if she did this artwork too. I wouldn't be surprised because it looks pretty similar. And it's really cool.
It's in the same style for sure.
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I do not want Jericho joining the Callis family and ruining everything for Takeshita.
No,
not appealing whatsoever, and doesn't seem like it would yield positive results at all. I can only hope this tag match causes Jericho to not want to ditch Jazz, like it has the reverse effect somehow, and they can go off and do whatever they want to do in their own orbit. While I'm on the anti-Jericho train, I did this before I put in my news. I've heard rumors of Ospreay Jericho to All In. Please, for the love of God, no.
You got it.
If it's anything other than Omega Ospreay finale, it's a horrible disappointment. And also Dynamite 200 next week.
Right. Woo-hoo. 200 already. Yeah, I thought this is another Jericho story that's dragging on too long for me. It seems to be kind of his thing. And I do think Callis is great in this role. And I do, from his point of view, right, he's accomplishing two things. He's like bringing Jericho into the fold and teaming him with Takeshita while further driving a wedge between Jericho and the rest of his current faction.
He loves splitting up them factions.
So all of that is smart. And the painting was kind of funny. But again, like I'm not super interested. The payoff is obviously Jericho's decision, and I'm not that interested in the payoff. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
That's exactly like I'm half like don't care about this, and half
you really
I don't want
yeah.
what they're selling me on. So it's like it just, especially if that means like if Jericho joining Callis somehow works its way to Jericho Ospreay, that ruins Takeshita and Ospreay for me. It doesn't ruin Ospreay, but it ruins something with Ospreay.
Yeah.
The point is it affects two guys I very much enjoy this year.
True.
So, yeah. Oh, that reminds me, Takeshita for Rising Star.
Yeah, probably. Hopefully.
Yeah, because I feel like last year
he stays on this.
I feel like last year we said almost, and then we said maybe next year. And I mean,
he's getting attention at least.
Then there's a brief Hook vignette that I thought was really
very
cool.
brief.
He was sitting. He like went to a bench waiting for the subway. He sat on there, and he's got his backpack in the FTW title. Then the train passes by. He's sitting there with no title, and then the train passes by again. Now he's not there, and his logo's on the wall. It was really simple and short and on brand for Hook, but I thought it was really cool just because I thought, I don't know, it was cool to me.
Me too. It was maybe really less than a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like
it was basically nothing. But
so no dialogue, but I don't think it was nothing because to me they got across probably three things. One, his respect for the title because he actually has it sitting beside him almost like it's a person, right? When he's sitting there. Two, kind of got over his sense of loss without having the title. He looks like he's all lonely sitting there, right? And three, when he's gone, it's like he's going to do something about it, right? So I thought they communicated a whole hell of a lot.
Well, if that's the way they're going with it, I like it a lot
right?
more.
Like,
it was cool on the surface.
Here I am with it beside me, like it's a person getting its own seat.
Okay.
And then it's gone, and now I'm gone to do something about it. So I thought this was super, especially for a character that doesn't speak really.
Yeah.
I thought this was a really cool, like 45 seconds or whatever. It did a lot. I thought it was really neat.
That's a good way to put it, actually. Next we get a quick Blackpool promo backstage. Claudio says he has a PSA not to play with fire and not to mess with the Blackpool Combat Club. He says to Pack or bastard.
Always.
After what he pulled up Blood and Guts and his beating at Death Before Dishonor, if he thinks it's the beginning, he's sorely mistaken. Mox comes in and says they tried to flex their muscles when he wasn't in the room. He says if anyone else thinks there's something, he warns them to stay in their lane. He tells best friends and Lucha Bros they're playing with explosives and they'll pay for Pac's mistakes.
Yeah, I thought Claudio was sounding pretty ordinary, and then I thought Mox came in and kind of...
I thought Claudio sounded good for someone who's typically not great.
Yeah, and then Mox took it to another level, right? And I told you, I've heard some people saying, like, this is BCC heading for a babyface turn because they were the ones that, yes, they lost, but they were outnumbered, and people abandoned them, and this promo does not make it seem like that's
they're a
the
bunch
case.
of bully pricks, right? And I think it's not because they're not face turning. It's just Pac left because he's a bastard.
And Callis is Callis and goes.
Callis is a weasel, so he took out Takeshita.
We're down one person. Another one's handcuffed. Right? Like, let's get out of here.
Yeah. So it's like I don't think it's at all face
This
turn.
promo clearly was
nor
not.
would I want it to be because heel Blackpool is a masterstroke.
Right.
I thought Mox was great. Obviously. I always enjoy what he has to say. And I love Death Triangle, but I'll be a little disappointed if it means no more Bastard Pac. Heel Pac is Bastard Pac. Let's be honest. He's always a bastard, but true bastard is heel Pac. I think like I love Death Triangle, so like it'll be okay. I hope we get heel Pac eventually though.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way Claudio just refers to him as bastard. It just makes me chuckle. And while I want heel Pac back, I may be able to wait for the bastard until after we get some Death Triangle Blackpool action. That may be acceptable.
Yep.
I may be okay with that. Just saying that I would not be opposed.
No, me either.
Next we hear from Jungle.
Yeah, right.
So Jack Perry came out. He had a I Beat Hook shirt, and he was wearing orange shorts.
Week 2 of the music. How do you feel? I'm still not fully on board. I feel like it might wear me down though.
It'll wear me down to the point where I don't care, not to the point where I like it.
So far, I don't think it suits him, but maybe that's the point. I don't know.
But
right? Is that one of those things? Like, haha, it doesn't suit him because he doesn't want you to like him.
No, but here's the thing. Like, if it's if you want to go with a song that doesn't fit him, I would have just kept him with Tarzan Boy.
You could,
because that doesn't fit him now either, and that would be way more ironically funny to me than having a Beethoven symphony.
But they don't want people dancing and waving around.
That would be funny though.
It depends. If he were equipped to handle it as a heel, maybe, but I don't think he is, being his first real heel run.
He could manage.
He's kind of struggling a bit as it is.
I think it'd be funny. So Jack Perry, he's here. He said that Hook realized he can't hang with the big boys and went on a train to nowhere. He said when he was going to win a championship, he didn't mean this one.
I like that part where he's like, I don't really count this as a title.
He's got a belt, but I wouldn't count it either.
Yeah, I liked it.
He blasted the title, said that it matters now because he's holding it, which sure. I don't think that's ever gonna change. Jack said that he would run circles over Taz and all of his dirtbag friends back in the day. Then that prompts up Jerry Lynn for some reason.
Because he's one of those guys.
I guess.
From ECW back in its heyday. And he's backstage and he's feeling froggy, as they say.
He called him Jungle, which was really weird.
Yeah.
And he said he's Jack Perry now, so yeah, that's weird. Lynn said he doesn't care what he calls himself, and he said in ECW they paved the way for this generation. He said without ECW there would never have been a Jungle Boy. That's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
I don't
love ECW, don't get me wrong.
But like he said if Jack keeps running his mouth, he'll get his ass kicked. And Jack said he's like, who's gonna kick my ass? Lynn dropped the microphone and really making a song and dance out of it. Then he said they can do this on his time and do it next week and see who gets their asses kicked.
So what's the payoff here?
They're going face-to-face next week, even though they're face-to-face here.
Face-to-face doesn't mean a match, right?
No, because I don't think they're going to have Jerry Lynn wrestle.
And Jerry Lynn was awesome in his day, don't get me wrong. I would actually recommend you go and watch some prime Jerry Lynn stuff, because in ring, he was like unbelievable, just not super interesting ever in any other capacity, unfortunately. But anyways, I think I'm going to try and call him Perry. I actually put it in my notes instead of Jungle Boy. I think right now, for me, he's more believable as a heel in the ring when he's wrestling than he is on the mic. But I did like his shots at the FTW title because this is supposed to be the year of gold. And I like that he's like, I don't really count this. I thought he did sound better when directly addressing Taz and Jerry Lynn. But I like
the shots of Taz, yeah.
I don't really have any desire for Jerry Lynn on screen. I don't think we need to find ways to put him on screen, but I'm hoping it's really quick, and if it helps establish Perry as a heel, then I guess it'll be worth it. But so far, I'm not sure what payoff there's going to be that works, but I guess I can trust them to do something.
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of weird for me. I kind of agree with you. I'm not sure how to feel about it. I thought Jack sounded perfectly fine before the Jerry Lynn walkout, and I like all the shots of Taz. I'm kind of confused with the whole point of the Jerry Lynn thing. I get like him taking shots at ECW and the FTW title because Taz made the title. He's with ECW. That's all fine and dandy for me, and that makes sense, right?
And in the moment, I was like, "What are we building to a match with Taz? Like, Where are we going?
That would
What's
make
the
more
payoff?
sense for me, even though I don't want that either. But I don't get why it turned into a thing with Lynn. Now they're having a thing next week, like, why? It doesn't seem like something we need to be seeing or something that would benefit he's still newly healed, Jack Perry.
He is.
Also, Lynn referring to him simply as Jungle was very weird.
I feel like that's maybe what they call him backstage or whatever, and that was supposed to be like a peek behind the curtain kind of thing. I don't know.
I don't know. Next we got a Britt Baker interview. She reminds us she's a former champion. She's the face of the division. She says she was a little surprised when Ty called her out, but she's happy she did for her first time match against someone she does respect. I would disagree at this point. She says Ty wants to swim with the Sharks, and she said something else. And she said TBS is the Brit show.
Yeah, we talked about it while we were watching it. Like, Britt is always fine on the mic, but I just miss heel Baker, who was just edgy and ripping people apart. I just miss that Britt Baker so much that I'm not happy with anything else. Even though she's
she
totally
always
fine.
had some good like zingers, just like kind of off the cuff kind of deal. So yeah, I agree. It does suck. That's not really.
She's suffered a lot with their poor booking of this division. Simply just not having enough time to include her, or choosing to include her, or feeling like
because when she was on top, she was.
And maybe that's the thing. They feel it's somebody else's turn, but when she was on top, that's when that division was. At least she was super interesting all the time, right? But she's suffering from the way they choose to run their women's division, unfortunately.
Yeah, like
it's not a new opinion for me on this show, for sure.
I think they need to I don't know, maybe they do convert Rampage, because it would I think converting Dark would have been too low of a spotlight. So maybe you'd make Rampage a women's show. I don't know.
But then keep some still on Dynamite and Collision. I don't want it exclusive anywhere, right?
But I don't know. I'm just you gotta do something. Maybe don't do that. Maybe that's not a good idea. I don't know. But you gotta do something.
I agree.
Because I'd really it's just when Baker was on top, that the women's division was perfectly solid, and I thought some people Ty Conti had potential back in those days.
We liked Thunder Rosa at the time.
We liked Thunder Rosa at the time.
We loved Deeb.
We loved Deeb.
Nyla
Sheila was
had
still good. I don't know. Baker, she's still good, but when she's and I don't think it's because I'm not saying she's one of those people where if she's not in the spotlight, she's not good. I'm saying and I think this is what you're saying as well. If she's not in the spotlight, they can't do much with her.
And if she's not
through no fault of her own, because I guarantee if they give her something meaningful to do that's not the top title, she'd be perfectly fine.
She's not. She doesn't have an important opponent. It doesn't
feel
like she's not.
The last meaningful thing she did was Saraya, and we didn't like her. So
right, because she can cut an awesome promo on people, but it has to be something there for her to do that, right?
Right.
So
exactly.
I don't know. She's been kind of drifting a little bit, and I don't like it because she's cool.
Yeah, I kind of agreed. It's perfectly fine, but it doesn't compare to heel Baker.
No.
And I don't think we're going to get that for a while because the Outcasts are kind of the top heel spot in the division.
And for some reason, I don't know, do the general public like them? I don't understand.
Yeah, I'd like
Is the feedback good about them?
Yeah, I mean obviously we won't get a lot of we won't get a lot of comments of it. If anyone wants to
if you like the Outcasts, let me know.
Yeah, if you have any sort of positive feedback on the Outcasts at all, I'd be interested to know.
So mostly Ghost Jam and Kevin. We hear from you all the time.
I was thinking Ghost Jam, yeah.
If you have an opinion.
If you got an opinion on the Outcast, I would like to hear it.
Love
I will either praise you highly or I will vehemently disagree with you.
Right. But that's fine.
There's only two options.
You can disagree.
And so next we got Pac versus Gravity, the long-awaited showdown. Will Gravity finally remember?
And I thought Pac might have said, "Did you forget me?" when because they were having a little conversation.
Yeah,
before
at the beginning,
match.
Excalibur made reference to the Neville nickname, which I love. Let's not forget, for anyone who does forget though, the man that Gravity forgot. Gotta love that. And Pac says to Gravity, "Did you forget me?" Yeah, and so that was nice. That was the funny part when this match was booked. I like that they actually did acknowledge it here. That's a funny little thing. There's a nice forearm and then a dropkick from Gravity. He did this splash on the outside from he rebounded off the ropes and he did the plank landing. It looked really
with
funny.
His arms just dead at his side.
yeah, it was really funny. Pac was face washing him in the corner with his hand a couple times. He just kept shouting "Forget me not," which I really liked. And then Pac did his really fast thrust kicks with the chest kick and then the single drop kick. And then the finish was the avalanche brainbuster. Followed by the submission in the brutalizer.
One of my favorite possible combinations. I love Pac so much, and that brainbuster looks awesome, and the brutalizer right into it looks great. The match was pretty cool, but my complaint is this was 90% gravity, right? And I want Pac.
That was kind of my thing as well.
I want Pac to be important, and I want him to get attention, and I don't think giving 90% of a match to a brand new guy, even though the new guy looked good, is the move I would make. So it was kind of like, if you want to schedule a match to showcase gravity, does this have to be the opponent?
Yeah, I thought it was good,
Right?
and he had some cool stuff. I agree, but like that was my only complaint in the match was that like Pac kind of fell on the back pedal a little much.
Really?
And like
did.
And like it did give gravity time to shine, but I don't think it should have come out like this much at the cost of
Agreed.
Pac.
And he won Pac, that is, won super convincingly, which is cool. But again, like, it was like he just took a beating and then Brainbuster, Brutalizer, over. So again, if you want to showcase gravity, great. But I'm not sure this is the match I would choose for that.
Yeah.
But it was good.
I
Like,
agree.
gravity looked cool.
Yeah. And the finishing combo was really cool, and I had like the gravity Neville acknowledgement. That amused me. That amused
and
me
they
greatly.
acknowledged it, which was nice.
There was the really good Excalibur call. I don't think it was this match. I think it might have been the Swerve match. He said something really interesting.
Yes, and you didn't make a note of it, or did you?
I
think
know
you did.
I did.
I think
yes,
you said it's
okay,
worth
it
noting.
wasn't the Swerve match. Yeah, it was okay. I looked in my notes. It was I'll mention it later. Just reminded me. So next we get there was a recap of Cole and MJF winning last week in the double clothesline. Then we cut to an interview with them and Renee from last week after the match, shown to us this week.
Right.
And so MJF said he liked FTR better when they were his lackeys. He mocked the look of FTR while he imitated Dax Harwood. He said he'll punch Dax so hard in the face that he'll spit out CM Punk's jockstrap.
That was a pretty savage line, I thought.
And he mocked him, like, talking about the pro wrestling and his 8-year-old daughter. They did their catchphrase in that. He said that this has been, he said it was about gold, or Cole said this was about gold, but now it's kind of been about their friendship, and he never thought they'd become good friends. He said he was just handing MJF the title last week, and he says MJF's becoming one of his best friends. And then MJF shockingly said, win, lose, or draw, he'll give Cole a title match. They say a rematch for the title, but technically Cole never had a title match.
Yeah, that was a bit surprising. Just because it adds another, like,
wrinkle. I'm interested, though.
Me too. There's layers to it, right? Which I thought was cool.
Cole was surprised. Then Roddy came in. He shoved MJF in. I saw that look in your eyes. He said he can't trust MJF. MJF called him a default call, which is pretty funny. That's a creator wrestler. And I love the shots at Roddy. It's so mean, but it's funny.
I like that he keeps just showing up like a few seconds too late to do anything, right? Like, he wants to stop stuff, but he's just there a few seconds late.
I don't know what he's doing, but he's getting there too late.
Yeah.
It's the neck. He's limping.
Could be.
Cole told MJF to leave so he could talk to Strong. And he said he loves him like a brother and would do anything for him, but he has other friends, and he's like pushing him away or whatever. And he tried to talk to Cole, but Cole left, and he said Cole's making a mistake.
Yeah, I like this. I thought MJF mimicking Dax was funny. The line about Punk's jockstrap was funny. And then you had the more straightforward, serious, old school promo from FTR, which works really well. And I thought the layout was smart, right? You have MJF ripping the opponents, and then Cole is being like building the bond between himself, just like gushing over MJF, right? So, and again, we all know what's coming, or we think we know what's coming, but like, you can't
know me.
You can't help being entertained by these interactions. And
I got the shirt coming.
And you do, one of your birthday presents. And Roddy's role, right? Like, is he right? Is he jealous and overreacting? Is it somewhere in between?
I would think it's somewhere in between. I think because we know how MJF is,
right.
So I think you definitely have to at least think that Roddy's
speaking for us.
He's right,
basically.
Right? Yeah, or at least you should be.
Yes.
Right. And theoretically, and I think he's like
he's
definitely
just get there a bit sooner, though.
Right. He's right in some degree. Maybe it is some jealousy too. I think it being a bit of both would make sense.
But it's cool because it's stuff to think about in wrestling, and I like that.
Yeah, and like you said, there's a lot of layers to this. I like him giving him a title shot is really interesting because he said win, lose, or draw. So there's not a lot of wiggle room there unless he goes back on his word. But like, if he's sticking to his word, it's not like if we win, I'll give you a title shot. Oh, we lost.
Right.
You know, there's none of that. But I enjoyed this a lot again. I thought this was back to one of the really good segments. MJ was really funny. I loved when he took a shot at Cash's mullet.
Yeah.
He said like really brave to have a mullet in 2023, which is especially funny because my good friend may or may not be rocking a mullet in 2023.
He is.
So that makes me
a lot of people around here are.
Made me laugh really, really hard.
Nice.
The Dax impression was pretty funny, and I enjoy the Pinnacle references too. Gotta love a callback. And it's really interesting how Cole's coming around on this, like, full force. I'm not sure where it'll go after the tag time match, because, like, I'm wondering if they'll split then, or they'll split a little after, or, like, I don't know. It's like, they have to split, right? But, like, you don't know when. Like, you could make an argument for being the tag time match, but you could also make an argument for them lasting after
And
that.
I could also see it being something where they're even changing original plans because they're like, damn, this is working. Like, this is clicking and people love it, so let's drag it out a little. Who knows?
I'm okay with that, especially with Elite Blackpool done.
Yeah.
There's a void in my life for a interesting long-term storyline, so I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through the post faction wars withdrawal.
Right.
I'm wondering if they'll face off, like, because obviously, so if they do the title match, right, which I'm assuming, like, with MJF making that promise, they're going to do that. So I'm wondering if they'll face off still as friends, like, without a turn happening yet, or if, obviously, they'll do a turn and they get a full feud. You know what I mean? Because I could see them having a title match where they're still, like, friends, which I think would
or
be
the turn happens to end that match and they have one more
perhaps,
where
like MJF cheats and Cole feels betrayed or something like that.
Could be.
Wherever this goes, I'm all for it. I may enjoy this program. I think this might be once it turns into a world title feud, I think it's a better program than the one with Danielson. I think that was really good too.
Mm-hmm.
With Danielson going through, like, all the hoops to face MJF in the Iron Man match is great. But I think this is might be a better program when it's all said and done. The title match should be sweet too, because we already got a great matchup with them, right? But I'll be quite sad when they do split, even though it's inevitable. And I thought it was interesting how Cole was kind of pushing Roddy away here, and, like, it almost seemed like he's slowly inching towards being more friendly with MJF than he is with Roddy. Yeah. Like, the kind of role reversal is really interesting. So that'll be an interesting factor when the split happens, where Roddy is going to be there, because obviously, like, there's got to be, like, a huge degree of "I told you so."
Yes,
and
coming.
See, he is an ass, but like, there's also he obviously really cares about Cole, so there's obviously going to be, like, the support, right? So I don't know, it'll be interesting.
It will.
And then I think we followed up with a really strong one as well, with FTR interview, also from last week. So Cash said he respected Cole, and, like, he said nice things about Cole, but he doesn't like MJF. He was trashing him for how he was to them when they were in the Pinnacle. And Dax said he also likes Cole, but he won't let Cole beat him again, since Cole beat him in the Owen Hart turn last year, which I like that callback. He said this is real life to him, and he thinks it's hilarious that MJF makes a mockery of tag team wrestling. On July 29th at Collision, they'll have a fight. He says, I'm going to beat the you-know-what out of him. Harwood said he'll rip MJF's eyes out if he mentioned his family, which he did.
He did.
He said they'll beat MJF and Cole.
Coming.
Talk eyes out. I just saw a funny post like that Murphy extracted Aleister Black's eye, and he's still selling it.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
With the contact.
Mm-hmm. I thought this was really good as well. I thought Cash sounded pretty good here, because usually Dax is the stronger one on the mic, and I think he still killed it. But I really enjoyed, like, Cash just being straightforward about MJF while still respecting Cole. Like, it was just, I thought that really worked for me. And I thought Dax was great once again. I like how he brought it back to the respect of tag team wrestling.
Me too.
And how they've kind of, like, from their perspective, they made a mockery of it. Because obviously it's really entertaining and amusing for us, but it's a very FTR thing to not like that.
Super on brand for them,
right? And so I really like that, because it just feels like that.
That was my favorite part.
Mm-hmm. And real or not, like, I feel like they do kind of feel that way to an extent, but obviously, like, character wise, it's super on brand,
right? And
I like how he made reference to losing to Cole in last year's tournament.
Yep, I'd forgotten, obviously.
A good reference. I remember now that you mentioned it. I didn't really remember, but it clicked in my brain now, and it was also kind of cool how he was, like, saying, like, if you mention my daughter, if you mention my wife, because obviously, like, he doesn't know that MJF said it, but he knows he said it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't actually know.
Although there's a bit of a continuity issue there, because he did say that he already knew MJF mocked his voice and stuff. So he knew he did that, but then he didn't know he said anything about his family.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe it was just he assumed he did it.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Perhaps, but
I think.
Yeah, and I enjoyed their hatred of MJF. That tracks.
Yep, and I like that it's like all that stuff, because my note was too that I really like the whole you're making a mockery of tag team wrestling, but also I like that, like, we don't really have a problem with you, Cole, but we hate MJF so much that you're just going to be collateral damage. So
yeah, I really like that.
Like, you're going to take a beating too because you're aligning yourself with this guy. So nothing personal, but yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I think that was a really nice like pair of segments back to back. I really enjoyed those.
Me too.
Like, a whole. Next we get to probably my highlight of the show, just going from strength to strength here.
Match of the night, for sure.
Swerve Strickland versus Darby Allin once again, and Prince Nana dancing along to Swerve's theme was way funnier than it had any right
Nana
to be.
is awesome.
It's just like the way he
always
was, like,
has been.
He was doing like the driving wheel like dance thing. It was really funny.
And I just enjoy his whole thing. It's always been like he's just a super rich dude, so he just surrounds himself with like a stable, basically, right? It's very old school. I like it simple.
He was really funny.
Yeah, he was grooving
for no reason. Yeah, he was enjoying life here, and I respect it.
L-I-V-I-N.
He was
our Survivor buddy.
L-I-V-I-N. Yeah, and I respect it. He was happy here.
Who was that? Cody?
It was Cody. Our boy Cody. I'm pretty sure. Dare I say he had a mullet?
He kind of did. Yeah,
I would say so. We haven't finished the new season. We haven't finished the new season.
No, we didn't watch the final.
We got to get back on that. I've honestly forgot. Yeah. But Nana was living his best life here. He was happy, and admittedly, it made me happy. I enjoyed it very much. It was worth noting. Some notables from the match itself, besides Nana's dancing. There's a code red on the outside from Darby. He rolled Swerve in the ring for a 2 count. He moved the steel stairs to ringside. Then Swerve just did my favorite thing. He sent Darby towards the steps. Darby jumped over to avoid it. Then he ran up the steps and jumped off to drill Darby with a house.
It's funny. I used the word drilled as well.
You said it. You said it in the moment. That's why I used it. I was like, that's a
also
good term.
Drilled the house call off the steps.
I say it like it's so good when he nails it. It makes me happy. It's such a simple move, but like kick finishers just hit sometimes. You know,
he nails it. Yeah.
Malachi Black. You know. Good Claymore, I'm always there for. And house call it makes me happy. I enjoy a good house call.
You do. That's 2 weeks in a row of the praise for the house call.
I enjoy it too much. No, it was a couple weeks ago. But it was the Nick Wayne one because he killed him with that. Let's be honest, he drilled him. There was a roll through flatliner from Swerve, then a really smooth transition to a suplex for 2 because that's how he do.
He does.
There's a fast series of roll up counters. Swerve being kicked out of the Last Supper.
I thought that was
was really cool. And then this was the thing Excalibur said that I thought was really interesting. Actually, was Excalibur made the point of every time Darby's being Swerve in AEW, it's been with the Last Supper.
Right.
So Swerve getting out of that is actually really interesting, and I thought that was a really cool bit.
So yeah, it was already cool, and then Excalibur really drove it home.
You even noted that it's interesting. Like
it's a pretty protected finish.
That's a frequent finish for Darby, and it's a good pin, so I think it makes sense. But yeah, I really like Excalibur adding that because even for hardcore fans like us, that's not something I would pay attention to or remember.
Right.
So I really like that, actually. I think that's a really cool tidbit to have. Then they Darby speared Swerve off the apron. Darby didn't land too hot there.
I know, Darby almost dies on an apron spear to the floor.
And that was the ending spot of the Royal Rampage, the Battle Royal, which I think that's a cool, obviously it's dangerous, but I think that's a really cool spot to end the Battle Royal because Darby obviously doesn't.
He's not eliminated.
He can't take an elimination there, so I think that was really cool. Then Darby went for a suicide dive later on, but Swerve counters, just killed him with an anti-air knee. That was brutal.
And the camera was perfect too because
it looks so brutal.
He just came flying in from out of nowhere.
Yeah,
kinda.
Swerve just killed him with a knee. We rewound that twice.
Yep.
I got a couple rewinds. And that was absolutely gnarly. That's one of those things where I just can't help but audibly react. That is just
there was that's in my notes. There was probably 3 or 4 times that got instant reactions from us.
Yeah, I think what was the house
TV
call,
match.
This and the driver, which will come.
Yeah, the thing coming up here. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a Swerve stomp for near fall, which is also interesting. Cause that's a typical match ender for him, or at least around there, I guess.
Yeah, has been.
Swerve. He had Darby on his shoulder looking for some avalanche move, but Darby had a super pop over stunner, which was kind of cool. Then later on, there was the Avalanche Death Valley driver on the apron.
It looked nuts.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
he came down hard on there. Darby nearly beat the count back in the ring, but while Nana he was distracting the ref. Someone, I do use that in air quotes, pulls Darby out, sends him in the ring post, rolls him back in. Then Swerve nails him with a JML driver. That looked pretty nice.
Yep.
And to pick up the win. And the person was AR Fox.
It was AR Fox. He's back.
He attacks Dabby.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the R apparently. He attacks him further. Nick Wayne tries to help Darby, but and he attacks Fox, and he's going after Swerve. Then Fox takes him with the skateboard,
Mm-hmm.
and Fox is in the Mogul Embassy. Very nice.
I kind of like that fit. We talked about
I like
it.
that. And one of the things I was thinking like is because I don't know, I do like Swerve having a faction, but obviously the Mogul affiliates were not the thing because I just don't think like Trench and Parker Boudreaux ever really fit him. They just never really fit him,
And they can't really wrestle,
and
so that's
they
a
can't
limit.
wrestle, and I just don't think look wise or they just never stylistically fit him. And I think the Embassy, they're a great faction, and I like Nana. I love Cage. More so when he hits the drill claw, but I
Mhm.
love him anyways. And I think Gates of Agony are pretty cool, but
I do too. I like
they
them.
don't fit Swerve entirely. I think they're fine all as a unit, but like there's a lot better fits for Swerve, and I think Fox is that.
Yeah.
I think if we're gonna build a faction around Swerve, Fox is someone I would put in there. Khan, Leona, Cage, Boudreaux, Trench, not so much. You know, Nana even, yeah. Nana would like obviously Swerve doesn't need a mouthpiece, but Nana would fit in a faction with Swerve.
Yeah.
And Fox is I'm just saying Fox is a good addition.
He is. I thought this match was awesome. Another really great TV match, and just like I said, numerous moments where we reacted and rewound stuff, and Swerve's just amazing to watch. Right?
I put this on my list.
We always notice the way he moves in between moves is different from other people.
He's so
and
smooth,
just fluid and smooth.
He's so satisfying to watch. He's one of those guys that's just satisfying is the word.
And
right?
if you have a really cool offensive move set and you want to showcase it, there is
Swerve's
no better
he's
opponent
good selling,
than Darby Allin, right? So some incredible back and forth action. I thought this was terrific. And then obviously the finish furthers the Allin AR Fox thing and then adds Fox joining in with Swerve, which is all cool stuff. So
very nice.
I thought this match was awesome. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I thought this was really awesome. It was a fantastic TV match. I thought the chemistry with these guys is unreal. Like they could just run it back next week, and I would not give one iota.
Yep.
I would not care at all. They just work so well together. It's super good every time. It might be recency bias, but this might be their best match they've had in AEW yet. I just really found myself enjoying this one, and yeah, all the audible reactions are obviously like a good sign because that's kind of a cool spot. Like the house call up the stairs was awesome because I love that move. It looks way too good every time. And Swerve catching the Sis head dive with a knee was absolutely gnarly. I mean, I love when Sammy catches it with a cutter, but this might be better.
Yep.
That got a couple of rewinds. The spear off the apron was scary, and the DVD was brutal. For different reasons, obviously. I think this match is another example of why Swerve is world champ material.
He is.
I think and I've seen a couple other people say that in posts. Like I've seen a couple posts with that, and I think it's starting to go around. I think it's just a matter of timing. Really.
Top heel material.
Yeah.
We've been saying it for months and months.
Absolutely. I think it's just a matter of timing, right? Because I don't think, obviously, right now with the MJF being the champ, obviously, a babyface needs to dethrone him. And especially right now with Adam Cole thing. Obviously, the timing's not right, but I think it's just a matter of time for Swerve. Because I think if once the right time comes, I think he absolutely deserves it. And if he gets the title someday, you build a storyline around a match like this, which should be easy. And you have an easy money title program right here. Darby already proved he can hang in a top title feud because I loved some of his promo work in the Four Pillars program. Some people didn't love that feud in general, but I thought it was pretty good. And especially in a couple of the promos, I thought Darby sounded fantastic. So I think these guys could have a top title feud someday, and I would love it.
Me too. I'd be fine with it.
Anyways, aside from that, the finish was great too. I thought the JMO driver looked sweet, but also because I think the AR Fox interference is very intriguing. With his history with not only Darby but also Swerve, there's a lot of interesting things at play here.
Yep.
I really enjoy how they set it up with the package at the start to show us their history and also how he's a great guy, and then his turmoil after the match. Like I said earlier, it's all a really nice setup to kind of this payoff here, and it is kind of a short, but this is short term storytelling done right because there is a right way to short circuit things, right?
Well, and
it plays off of
all due respect to AR Fox, he's not a guy they're gonna spend weeks and weeks developing a storyline for. So for more minor guys, this is really well done.
Yeah. I think it's a really great one show kind of.
Yep.
And it's a nice payoff too, just all done in 1 2-hour block or less than obviously, but same difference. And it's something I'm really interested in going into next week, which I think is a great thing to say for an episode of weekly TV. Like,
Mhm.
you want something really interesting that I'm going to want to see next week. Will I watch it live? Probably not, because
We don't
we'll
do
probably
that.
forget, and you'll probably be taking him to basketball or something.
Could be.
However, it's still something I'm really looking forward to. I think regardless, that's a good thing. That's something you want, right, on weekly TV.
Taking him to basketball. He's just referred to in the third person.
Yeah, exactly.
Him.
But he's not him.
He is him.
He's not
He would
him.
say he is him.
He's not him. Not like that. Not like that. But yeah, so I'm interested to see what Fox has to say, and I really like this. I think
Me too.
I want Swerve to break away from the embassy. Sorry, Nana, he won't be able to dance anymore, but I want Swerve to reform the Mogul affiliates, leave the embassy on their own. You get one more person. You have Swerve, Fox, and someone fitting. I think that's a great trio.
Big Bill, Enforcer. No good.
I don't think so.
No.
If anything, it seems like Big Bill's gonna join the embassy.
Yeah, maybe.
He's still kicking around with Lee Moriarty though. I think.
Yeah.
I saw them too, which is weird because no more Firm. Man, the Firm. Oh.
R.I.P. I guess. I
funny.
don't know.
Honestly, I think I respect the Firm just simply because that's ironically when Ethan Page actually got pushed, because now the Guns have ended up better off, and
Page is with Isaiah Cassidy.
Moriarty and Big Bill have honestly, and like, they stayed pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So they were unaffected. The Guns have benefited from
getting out
because they got the tag titles, and now they're with Jay White. And Ethan Page just went down.
Yep.
But anyways, back to the point. I thought this match was great. I thought the turn is really interesting. All around, I think it was a great piece of television.
It was good.
I think, like, would you say this is like the middle block? Like, because this and the two segments before this are fantastic.
Probably somewhere just after halfway, maybe.
I think that's a fantastic block here. The Cole MJF, FTR, and then this. That's just a really nice block there. Very enjoyable. Then we're gonna stop that
for a little bit, actually. Yeah.
For a decent
Things
bit,
turn.
we're gonna stop that. Jazz confront Jericho. They're outside his locker room. You got Anna JAS 2.0 and pregnant Ty Mello, or Ty Mello. That's weird. Oh, I forgot she changed her name. Ugh. Gross.
Okay.
Jericho asks how everything's going. Ty said that the baby is great, but wonder what's going on with Jericho. Her baby's not interracial, so I don't care. Okay. Parker said
that baby, the racism's already been ended. So.
Yeah, the racism's already ended. So you tell me why I should care about this. What's this baby gonna
could
do?
end homophobia, I guess, or something somehow. I don't know.
End sexism?
I guess.
That's good. Yeah, like, well, okay, wait. So this is gonna be a really weird thing to say, but like, so theoretically, if a mixed baby is the baby to end racism, what would be the baby to end homophobia? Would it have to be like the baby, like, I don't think it applies to them, but like,
it would be, if could end transphobia if one of the parents were trans, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. Or like,
I don't know,
because it's like mixed. It's like if a straight person or like hetero or whatever it is can have a baby with a trans person, then like, it'll be. I'm trying to do the Cody promo, but like, you know what I'm saying. So I guess it has to be something like that. Yeah. So like, I mean, then I don't know, how would you do a baby to end sexism? You do like, I don't know how that works, because like,
I don't either.
I don't know. It's funny. Anyways, Parker said that the crew means the world to him and to all of them. And he said he wasn't sure what the group means to Jericho anymore. He said that Jericho's being selfish and she's not sure Jericho. She said, we spend all this time appreciating you, but I'm not sure you appreciate us.
They sounded really bad.
Jay said that, like Jake said, they can't give him 100%. Menard told him to figure it out. They were looking at the painting too. All I had to say was, this was fine. Still don't want this. Conti sounded really bad.
I thought she and Jay sounded bad.
I thought Conti was worse.
And it's just more time and resources going into a decision and a story I'm not into.
I don't want, or I don't care.
Not much to say.
Yeah. And I think I feel like when Ty Conti was more in the forefront, she didn't sound as bad, but she was really bad here.
This was rough. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I miss good Ty Conti.
Me too. We thought she was poised to be a big deal.
She showed great promise back in the day.
She really improved a lot, and then plateaued.
She had some cool matches. She had some really cool offense. I thought the DD Ty, I love a good Ty KO. That was,
and then
A, the names were funny, and B, the moves are cool. She had a solid outing against Baker.
I feel like she joined up with Anna Jay and just
got worse
somehow.
And I think the union with Sammy didn't really pay off for her.
No.
Because I think Sammy is good at being a prick. He's
Yep.
a likable babyface, or he's a great cocky heel. But I don't think that applies to her either. And I think ever since joining with Jazz, I think you want to talk about not fitting Garcia, it doesn't fit her.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever did. I think she just kind of got forgotten about, which kind of sucks because I still remember. I feel like we'll always reminisce about this, but she did have promise, and I remember saying she could be a TBS champion.
Yeah, like she could be the breakout woman next year, sort of thing.
Yeah,
they
I think
could position her to be
what she
Cargill
challenged
eventually.
Baker at the end of 2021. I think it was Full Gear 2021. Like, yeah, we were saying like the next year, like last year could have been her year if things had gone differently. I think, like, I don't. I think making the whole like I don't think you always have to make couples a storyline. I think that kind of did her in, and now it's at this point. Obviously, pregnancy, that's a great thing. That's not obviously, but I think pre-pregnancy, a lot of things didn't go her way. And yeah, she just didn't sound good here. And I don't want to crap on her because again, she used to be good.
She did.
It's really weird because
this was weak.
Yeah, yeah, the whole thing just not interested, and I don't want it. Then we got a recap of the trios title match from last week's Collision. Malachi Black shaved his face. That's the most notable thing. And also Billy Gunn teased retirement.
Teased. He left his boots in the ring, man. I think he should be done. Normally they don't mess around with that.
I don't
angle,
know. I disagree. Didn't Taker leave his hat and boots in the ring, and then he came back the next year and also wrestled in Saudi and ruined his legacy forever?
I've heard people say it's just him retiring the daddy ass character. I don't know. I don't care that much, unfortunately.
I think that'd be dumb if she's retiring that.
So
I don't really care.
They can have that on Collision, as far as I'm concerned.
He can ruin his legacy in Saudi Arabia too if he wants.
He could.
I don't know. That's what Taker did, and he said he retired, but then he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna get dropped on my head."
Did you see the Saudis offered the big soccer player Mbappe? See what they offered him? Like $750 million for a year, like a $750 million to play soccer there, I guess.
Like on his team or play
in
for
a league there, I think. Anyways, keep going. It's getting late here.
In their sports.
It's Friday night and it's getting late, so move on.
Okay, it's Friday. Next we get Dr. Britt Baker.
Some of us have to coach basketball early
versus
in the morning.
Taya Valkyrie. Not I, sir.
Right.
Not I. Baker and Taya.
Sorry, I said Swerve was match of the night. I meant this. Just kidding. I can't even finish that sentence and have anyone out there think that I like this match better than Swerve Darby Allin. I did not. I did not.
I don't think I could even have anyone thinking I like this better than anything Swerve.
This was kind of the anti-Swerve Allin match.
It wasn't fast. It wasn't smooth.
No.
There was like
a severe botch in the middle
where she had her ready for the road to Valhalla, and she just kind of dropped her really lightly, and it was just like this failed, and she had to save it by doing ground and pound. Taya did. It was really weird.
And then there was like an awkward silence for a couple seconds on commentary before we got it. Didn't get all of it because there's nothing else you could say there. But anyway,
this would be one of those times where like I would love to be a wrestling commentator. This would be one of those times where I would not want to do that.
No.
Like just I don't know if I could salvage something like this.
Feign how interested you are in this.
Yeah. Hey, respect to commentary for being professional. I respect Shivani, Excalibur, and Taz for like they try to keep you hyped for this. They do their best. I admire and respect the effort, but I cannot empathize with that.
So talk about the match. Explain why.
There's cravat from Baker, ripcord rolling elbow from Baker for 1 count. Falling lariat from Valkyrie for 2. Again, super soft and slow. That was bad. Panama Stars from Baker for 2 after about 10 seconds of waiting.
They're underwater in this match, basically.
I think that's putting it lightly.
It's weird.
I think they were wrestling in space. They're just like going like real
They
slow.
were doing Gravity's gimmick when he does the walk where he's
they're doing that, but they decided to do that for a whole match.
Yeah.
Then she won with the lockjaw.
Yeah, man, this
sucked.
When Taya's in control, things are really slow, right? And then I
don't even think Baker really got to shine when she was in control either.
Botched Road to Valhalla was really awkward. The crowd
was really weird for me too, because I was like, it just confused me.
The crowd's not into it, neither was I, and I'm a bit concerned about Baker too, because there's been a couple lackluster matches lately, but I feel like everyone slows down when they work with Taya, right? It's like
absolutely
move, pause, wait, move, wait, move, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the plus side, if we're silver lining, it is 2 fairly big names in the women's division being given 10 minutes, but it's still the only women's match.
If this is the 10 minutes you're giving them, I'd just rather you have a short one.
And it wasn't good, unfortunately.
It was not. No,
I did not enjoy.
I would share that same sentiment. I wrote, yeah, this was not great. Uncharacteristically so from Baker. I mean, yeah, her match with Soho didn't quite hit, but that was okay.
Right. It
I
wasn't
feel
as bad as
this
this.
wasn't good.
Yeah, this was worse.
This felt like it was on half speed basically the whole time. Nearly everything was slow, and there was some sloppiness as well. I even think Taya slowed down Britt here, like you were saying. If she can't even have a good match with Britt, then what's the state of things for Taya? It can't be good. I don't want to say she's bad now because we used to like her. There was a time when we liked her, and I don't want to say she's bad, right? But she always looks slow, and even against Baker, it wasn't a good match. Dare I say it was bad? At what point do I stop waiting and I rip off the Band-Aid to say Taya Valkyrie's bad now?
She's
and
not
I
good.
think we're about there.
We're there.
I'm pretty much there. I think,
and she's
I don't think
Canadian,
she's good
and
now.
I swear she used to be good, so I want to like her, but
I
she's not
remember
good,
liking
man.
her Impact. I swear. Maybe I'm misremembering that. There's a good chance now, because honestly, maybe I'm gaslighting myself now. I don't know, but it definitely doesn't seem like it now, because it's just not good. And I do like it's good to have big names like her in the division, but not if she's like. I don't think her signing's been really worth it.
No.
And I'm glad they gave the title to Statlander instead.
Right.
Next we get a Rampage promo package. Bunch of people say things. There's Nyla Rose, Sheeta. They're having a match. Then there's people in the tag battle royal. There's Lethal and Dutton saying no Jarrett. That's good. Nana spoke for Big Bill and Cage. That's weird. Brother Zay and Ethan Page and the Hardys spoke as well. Jeff is back from his anti-Canada absence.
He is. How did he explained it away at some point? I forget. And you were like, no, it's because you're not allowed in Canada or something.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, this was all like, my only thing was like, there is no real team of consequence in this whole thing.
I'm telling you.
So it's kind of the dregs, not to be rude.
The Hardys are winning. They honestly seem like the best
crazy.
bet. I wish I didn't have to say that, but they honestly seem like the best bet.
Crazy. Might be right.
It looks like it. I would hope not, but that unfortunately would seem to be the case, sir. But yeah, it was whatever. It was Rampage nonsense. The Tag Battle Royal lineup is paper thin, to your point. It's to the point where they reused a team from the Blind Tournament. Morrissey and Cage. Like, that's weird. Also seems like a Hardy's win, which I do not want. I don't want them near the titles. Because let me remind you, if Jeff hadn't gotten another DUI or whatever crap it was last year, they would have won the titles. Remember, that was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we should be afraid. And also, I feel extremely bad for Ethan Page. He deserves so much more. And I'm going to keep saying this until it happens or until I die. Bring back Men of the Year. Because they were money before American Top Team roomed everything, okay? They were great together because they both can speak. They're both good in the ring. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but their theme song was awesome.
Yep.
So
just off topic, well, sort of back to a topic. I just added that match to the list of matches I do not like, and you were wondering what other ones we have.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I have. I don't know if you contributed any of these. So matches I did not like this year.
I'm assuming there's some NXT on there.
Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. Royal Rumble.
Ooh, okay, good. I'll put that on mine just so I have one.
Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Royal Rumble.
That sounds right.
Did not enjoy. It says 8-minute match with many basic submissions, slowing things down. No better than average TV match. I'm
gonna write Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight Mountain Dew.
Sting, Allen Cassidy versus Butcher Blade Sabian, March 22nd.
Oh yeah,
Dynamite.
wait, sorry, what was it? It was Sting, Darby. Sorry, run that back again.
Sting, Darby, Cassidy, Butcher Blade Sabian.
And when was that?
March 22nd, okay. Dynamite.
And is that
it's a lame finish where Sabian waits for 10 seconds to take a death
Right,
drop.
because Sting made them all look like idiots.
No, that's not all. Miz McAfee, WrestleMania Night 1. Was not advertised, didn't want it, didn't need it. The low point on a really good night of Mania.
Yeah.
Other one I have is Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Stand and Deliver.
Really?
Just because it under-delivered so much.
But would you put that in like the worst category when it comes to it?
It's worth mentioning because to me, like,
I think you could honorable mention
a match
that.
Like, let's say Ospreay and Omega had come out at Forbidden Door and had like a C match.
Unfathomable.
That might be a nomination for worst match of the year only because like for me, maybe other
turned
people
out to be
would
the
disagree.
best match ever.
And then I have Jarrett versus Briscoe, the concession stand brawl I did not enjoy.
Oh yeah. What was the date on that again?
June 21st Dynamite.
Awesome. Okay.
And then Valkyrie Breaker is the other one. Or sorry, Baker.
Oh, sorry, it was June what? 21st?
21st, yeah.
Awesome.
So I've got a pretty decent list, right? I try.
Baker versus Valkyrie. What was that would have been July 26th.
Because I don't like to rely on other people's. I like our own for this because
I agree. I like having my own thoughts. 07.
But anyway, sorry, I digressed us quite badly.
that's helpful. And those are some good picks. I forgot about the Mountain Dew. That one makes me laugh though.
It was bad.
It makes me laugh though. I like that they're making a figure of that, and guess what? I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, you probably will.
It makes me laugh. That's funnier than getting a Burnt Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
Next, there was a quick Buddy Matthews Andrade promo package. They're gonna have a ladder match for Andrade still in mask. And if you think that's dumb, at least they're not fighting for a sledgehammer.
But hey, as dumb as it is, that them facing each other will get us to probably check out Collision.
Yeah,
so
I don't think it's the
effective.
dumbest thing ever. But
it's just they really didn't spend any time showing us that this mask was important. Mm-hmm. They simply did us the tell, not show.
The House of Black stole it, and that was it.
Right? And it's not like they needed to spend some time building up why it's important.
To be fair, I'd probably just watch for Cole and MJF.
Other than just it's what he wears to the ring.
Yeah.
But anyways.
I guess Matthews got to speak, so that's cool.
Yep.
He says he'll burn the mask if he wins.
Nice.
I like fire.
Yep.
That's cool, I guess. That should be a sweet match. Then
main event?
Yes, it's main event.
Because you know, best friends are those main eventers.
Yeah. John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli of Blackpool Combat Club versus Lucha Bros of Not Death Rhombus.
Nope.
Versus Best Friends. Speaking of which, I'm disappointed. There's the one storyline in the AEW game where you can join Death Triangle, but then even if you choose to join them, they're like, nah, we don't want you. So Death Rhombus doesn't even get to form.
Never happen.
And I was so excited to form Death Rhombus. I was so going to do that.
You and Death Rhombus.
It's funny. The word rhombus is funny. Death Rhombus, like, I've seen, like, I think when the guys I watched were playing, they were making the joke of, like, Death Rectangle, whatever. That's not funny. Okay?
Rhombus is
Death Rhombus is funny.
Yep.
Death Parallelogram, maybe. But Death Rhombus is the money, all right? And I will not be convinced otherwise. The match started with a lot of brawling all around. Nothing really worth noting there. There's a springboard arm drag and a standing double foot stomp to Claudio from Phoenix. Mox did a King Kong Lair to Trent for 2. Mox took Soul Food from Chuck, which is probably one of my favorite move names. That's just funny. It works for me.
Yep.
Eat Defeat is also good for that one, but
I like
Soul
that
Food. Soul Food's nice because I only hear that. Yeah, those are good. I like the foot puns. Penta tags off of Mox, comes in with sling blades and a backstabber to Chuck for 2. Claudio lifts Chuck in a military press. He drops him into a cutter for Mox. The execution wasn't perfect on the cutter because he didn't kind of quite get there, but I thought the idea was really cool. Best Friends hit stereo pile drivers to Lucha Bros. Phoenix had Chuck in like a heel hook or some sort of like submission while Penta did the arm snap to Trent. Then a Fear Factor for a 2 count. Blackpool saved the pin. Orange Cassidy came to distract Blackpool. Mox fought him then. Penta won with the package pile driver randomly.
Yeah, that is true. Mm-hmm. That is what happened. I don't know. It didn't feel like a main event on paper, and I think that kind of came out in execution too. Agreed. Like, I'd much preferred Swerve Allen to this. Not that this was bad, right? But best friends are never winning. I will say I was surprised by the finish because I had already started making notes saying, like, Lucha Brothers aren't even on this show. Best friends never win. Clearly going to be a rehab win for Blackpool, right? So it wasn't, which is a bit surprising. Mm-hmm. So I was surprised by that, but I don't know. The crowd was supportive, but they weren't overly excited, right? I don't know where this match kind of came from and why.
It came from the ROH pay-per-view,
right?
Which you didn't finish, so it's on you.
You did not finish. I actually want to go back and watch the women's match. I heard it's awesome. So.
And Claudio Pack.
But the action,
I saw him swing Pack on the stage.
The action was fine and was what you'd expect. It just didn't feel important or epic.
I agree. Like I
want a main event.
I like the lineup of talent on paper because say we want about Best Friends, they're good in ring.
They are.
I do enjoy.
They're
Best
really
Friends.
fun to watch.
Yeah, I do like them, and obviously always been a big Lucha Bros fan since the Impact days. And Blackpool, love Blackpool right now. So it's a great talent pool, but yeah, it did feel like a really random cobbling of talent.
It did,
right?
To me.
And I do understand where it's coming from the ROH pay-per-view, and that's perfectly fine. But even from there, it just feels random, and it partially for me, and it's no fault of their own. Well, it isn't, but like they just don't do a lot of multi-man tags like the 3-ways or 4-ways. They just don't, other than pay-per-view title matches, they just don't do this a lot.
The ref lost control almost immediately, and even the commentary at one point when
at least JR wasn't there,
they joked about the first tag being made several minutes in, like they laughed about it. Yeah.
And like I don't like it always feels a little weird to me when they do like a triple, like they're doing the triple threat next week with I think Mox, Penta, and Trent. That feels weird to me just inherently because they don't do a lot of those, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It makes it's already a little off for me right off the bat, that kind of thing, you know. But I thought it was pretty solid. I was kind of expecting it to like kind of be more of a car crash, kind of entertaining at the end, or at least it would dissolve into that.
Never quite got to that level.
It never really got to the point, that I was expecting. Like that usually happens in a trios match, and this is the same amount of people, so I was kind of expecting that kind of thing. It wasn't quite there, I thought. I like everyone involved. I think they put a solid effort out, but Swerve and Darby takes the cake easily for match of the night and by a decent margin. I think I might note that as one of my match of the year candidates, at least for like TV match. I did put it there. I'd put Dynamite at 199. I don't have Omega Ospreay on the list, but I don't think I need to.
Yeah, it's probably assumed it's going to be on there.
I'll probably add it there, but it's taking my pick anyways. That doesn't matter right now. The finish felt kind of sudden, but Lucha Bros win is generally fine by me. Just like
I was surprised,
just simply for the fact I like Lucha Bros.
Yep.
I'm interested in a possible Blackpool Death Triangle feud. But I'm not as amped as I think I would usually be. I think it's partially because Lucha Bros aren't that hot right now. Like, yes, they've been ROH tag champs, but they didn't really do much of those belts. And
no.
It kind of left them largely off TV, other than when they had the defense against Blackpool pre-Double or Nothing, and that's the only thing I can really remember from their title reign. But I'm also, I think, like I mentioned, I might be the post-Blackpool Elite withdrawal. It was just really nice to experience a storyline like that again. And I always love the big Elite storylines. Like you can say, oh, because they're EVPs, they're putting something, but it's the most interesting.
Delivers generally, yeah.
It delivers full front, and so I'm gonna miss that. Obviously, you can't always have that, but it's just like you're in this weird period after something like that dies down. It's just like it's so fun being in the midst of that.
There's a void now.
Exactly, and I think like the MJF Cole thing is great too, but just it still feels something missing. Like honestly, like
and that's a completely different tone from Blackpool.
Obviously, yeah. Just the weeks where we had like when we were leading up to Anarchy in the Arena when the Elite were uniting, that was really fun for me. I really enjoyed that, and just the excitement that like what's gonna happen next week, waiting for Ibushi to come, things like that was really fun for me. So I'm gonna miss that. But I think Blackpool Death Triangle on paper is a great feud, so I'm interested to see that as well. I'm also kind of fearing though the Best Friends might feud with Blackpool because that seems like a drifting around here, and no disrespect to them.
Seem Cassidy is their prime target right now.
Cassidy should focus on his title reign. I think that's more interesting for him, and it's much better. And I love that triangle way more. No disrespect to Best Friends, but I don't need them.
They're just not believable as a threat to anything.
Yeah,
due to the way they've been booked for years.
They work in their function. They don't need to be anything more than
right.
that. Regardless, a solid main event, but kind of lacked the big fight feel I was looking for, and lacked some more ramped up action towards the end, I thought.
Yep, I would agree with that. Overall, I still like the episode. I loved Swerve and Darby Allin, obviously. Yeah. I really thought
that was really strong.
AR Fox Cassidy was good. Opening segment was good. The little brief hook thing was really cool. Pac Gravity, like Gravity looked cool. I know I didn't love the distribution of the offense in that match, but the match was still interesting. The women's match was weak. All of the Jericho stuff I don't really enjoy, even though I thought Callis was doing a good job in the performance. If the main event's stronger and the women's match was not bad, even, I could go in A range. I'm not quite there, so I'm going to go B+ because I was entertained by quite a bit of in-ring and quite a bit of the segments. Not everything was perfect, but really close to A range, so I went with a B+ this week.
Yeah, I think like what I was saying earlier, the middle section of the show was super strong.
Yeah, there was a very solid stretch in the middle.
I thought the start of the show was pretty good in its own right. I think the package to start us off was really nice exposition for anyone who doesn't know, and just giving us some background on AR Fox. And I thought the opener was really nice as well. And so that coupled with the Swerve Darby match and the aftermath, that was phenomenal. I thought that was a really nice one show arc kind of thing, and obviously it'll carry on to next week or something like you said. But it's a nice, like you said, it's a nice kind of one show, like a thread woven throughout the show. Yeah, that's the word.
There you go.
Right. And obviously the match was fantastic. I really loved that. Some great stuff in there. And it deserves a spot. Like it'll definitely. I think that'll make the nominations for the TV match category.
I enjoyed it.
That's why I like the TV match category, because I feel like because pay-per-view matches get so big. So even though this match is great, it might not stand a chance in. Because I think a TV match like Bullet Club Gold and FTR, that could make both categories, because that was phenomenal and it had the length of a pay-per-view match, but this one might not make there. So I'd like the TV category because this deserves a spotlight. And then the Cole MJF FTR promos were really strong. I thought that helped build that match for me, even though I already want to see it.
they were
that
good.
was really nice. The Jack Perry was okay. I thought the Jerry Lynn thing was really weird, so I thought it was okay. Hook vignette was really cool. Any of the jazz stuff, I'm just gonna lump that in together. Fine.
Yep.
Whatever. Take it or leave it, I guess. Blackpool backstage promo was solid. Baker was fine. The match not good. Her promo was okay. Match not good.
Correct.
Promo okay. Match bad.
Correct.
Rampage stuff, whatever. And the main event was perfectly solid. Nothing amazing, but it was good. So I would also give it a B plus. I think it's a really good main event and it's a good women's. It's a really good main event, good women's match, and a couple better segments away from an A-range show.
Yep, I agree.
It's really close because I think the middle stretch is really strong, but just needed some other stuff in there.
A lot of good stuff this week on there, and a few duds, but mostly very good. All right, let's move into our next segment where we'll take on some trivia generated by artificial intelligence in a segment we like to call Off the Top of His Head. All right, so ChatGPT does not like when I do this, so you have to phrase it well. I had to phrase it as like the what did I
least
say?
Bad.
15 lowest rated SummerSlam matches. Because if you say bad, it doesn't.
Well,
like
didn't
that,
it work
right?
though when we tested that? Though?
A little bit, yes. So I've got 15. It's not chronological this time, so I don't know if they're ranked from 15 to 1. I'll go that way just in case.
I got a tab open just in case we need to fact check.
And I asked it to give me brief description. The descriptions are very brief and not super helpful. So here's what we'll do. We'll start at number 15 and work our way. So they're saying SummerSlam 2016, and it's a match for the Intercontinental Championship. Low rated match.
Was it Miz and Cruz?
It was, according to them.
I don't know why I know that.
And so here's their brief description. While technically sound, this match lacked a compelling story and struggled to engage the audience.
Sounds right. Apollo Crews is boring as hell.
Does sound right. SummerSlam 2018 triple threat match. I'll give you that much for now, and I won't give you the stakes yet. Yes.
Was it Mella, Lynch, and Charlotte?
Correct.
Really?
This, according to them, so if you both agree, you're probably right. This match
I know it's a match. I know that happened because Becky turned after. But
faced criticism for its awkward finish and pacing. Doesn't say what the finish was, and I'm not going to remember.
I just remember Becky turned after that match, and people loved it, even though that was the start of the man.
SummerSlam 2004.
Really?
It's not for any championship. No real stipulation.
I feel like was it Triple H and Eugene?
Relatively forgettable the match was. It says it was forgettable in an event with memorable bouts. So it would have
been Triple H and Eugene. Never mind. That would have been the year after, maybe.
It's a commentator now in WWE.
Oh, was it? Was it like JR and
no
coach?
No, an actual wrestler who's now a commentator.
Booker?
Yep. Booker T versus. According to this, I mean, it could be wrong.
I don't know if it's not notable. Then.
It says Cena. Booker T 2004 SummerSlam.
That sounds right. That was in Toronto, by the way, that SummerSlam. I didn't know that, but.
So here's a fun one. SummerSlam 1999.
Yeah, Cena Booker T tracks.
Okay. SummerSlam 1999.
Okay.
A stipulation match that would have never been done again.
Was it something with dog poop?
No.
Yeah, that just
chaotic street fight, but it had a very specific name. A wrestler, full-time wrestler, Canadian, against a part-time wrestler and executive, ? I guess is the right term to put on there.
Was it the love her?
Yes.
Leave her, whatever thing?
Love her or leave her Greenwich street fight.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Nice. Test and Shane?
Yes. Test and Shane.
Yeah, okay, because I thought Canadian, I was like, when you said Authority Figure, I was like, no, I was like,
all right.
And I thought of that, and I was thinking something like a lot weird. Like I kind of thought Kennel from Hell for a second.
No.
But then I was like, I think that makes sense. Okay, that's okay. I didn't know. I forgot that was a street fight. If I'm being honest, I remember that stipulation because they redid it in NXT.
SummerSlam 2017.
Okay.
May have come up already.
Is the shark cage?
Somebody's in a shark cage.
Yeah.
So who was it?
Large cast versus large show.
Correct. Says despite its unique setup, the match didn't impress many
baby
viewers.
Oiled out of a shark cage.
Awesome.
Man, I hated Enzo in that period because then I remember he took the Cruiserweight title off of Neville. I'll never forgive them for that. That was horrible.
SummerSlam 95 women's
All right.
match. Any
It's
chance?
Alundra Blaze and someone.
It is, and I would
Is it
not.
Bertha Faye?
It is Bertha
Yeah,
Faye. Why would you
nice.
know that?
Well, because so in that time the women's division was Alundra Blaze. That's how
it was.
If it's 95, 96, you know it's Alundra Blaze first off.
Yes.
And second of all, the two main rivals she had from that period that anyone would know is Bull Nakano and Bertha Faye.
So I know
both from
Bull
Japan.
Nakano, but
Bertha Faye
Bertha
was.
Faye?
She was big in Japan too, and
Google
she was like a
imaging her right
menacing
now.
big one too.
Oh yeah. Okay.
She was with Harvey Whippleman.
right.
Also women's champion.
Nice.
But like, so because she's menacing in Japan, like she's a big monster heel in Japan, whatever her name was, I forget.
Yeah.
But then they turned her into like the trailer park big girl. She's the girlfriend of Harvey Whippleman, so basically like a joke character, right?
Right.
And so yeah, so she was champion for a bit. And she was like one of the ones that was notable against Blaze, besides Bull Nakano.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda Singh was her name apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was something Singh, I remember.
She wrestled in Japan under the name Monster Ripper.
That's what it was.
That's an awesome name.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, so you nailed that one. Number 8, SummerSlam 1992.
Okay, bad match. All right.
Relative their description, because there's no stipulation or stakes really. A relatively forgettable match with a straightforward finish, but it's against one like WWE Hall of Famer, kind of a big guy, at least a jacked guy, and then a relatively not such a huge star big man. 92.
Was this Taker and Gonzalez again?
No.
That would have been the year after probably. I don't think they've gotten any wrong yet, have they?
I don't think so. I think it's been right so far. I skipped one. I'll have to go back to it.
Oh, Triple H Eugene was 2004. Let's go.
So this was a most famous for being a tag team star in the 80s.
Was it Shawn and someone?
Did some single stuff. No, big guy, jacked dude.
Hercules?
No.
I don't know.
British Bulldog. And big guy, never really a super mega star.
Who?
Berserker.
Wait, Bulldog and Berserker. They're saying 92?
Yeah.
No. Okay, so there's where they messed up.
All right, fine.
92, that's Bulldog Brett. You know, the
Right.
Wembley Stadium?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that. That's why I was thinking like that's the match I think of when you hear SummerSlam 92. But that's a great match. So I don't think that's right. Let me see what was on there though. I'll look at that.
So SummerSlam 91.
Okay.
This match I remember it was not good.
Perfect and Bret Hart had a match there.
This was the culmination or part of a major storyline.
Was it the match made in hell?
Which
the
was
handicap match?
No.
With the Triangle of Terror?
No.
Oh, but that match sucks.
This is a non-wrestler kind of starting to wrestle.
Oh. Okay.
At least a non-wrestler kayfabe. He wrestled like a non-wrestler in shoot real fake wrestler too, but
by the way, Tatanka beat Berserker.
An employee versus employer situation.
Oh, Virgil and
that was
DiBiase,
huge.
Really?
That was such a big deal at that
They're
time.
not including Match Made in Hell? Maybe they will, I guess. I don't know.
SummerSlam 2014, don't remember it, but I bet it was bad.
Was it Brie Bella and Steph McMahon?
Correct.
Nailed it.
SummerSlam 2005.
Ooh, okay.
I would say one of the best wrestlers of all time
Benoit?
for me in a match in this one.
Benoit?
Nope. Intended to be comical and lighthearted, but didn't resonate.
Wait, no. If it didn't, was it Shawn and...
No.
No, okay, because that match is funny.
I just watched the little thing on, they tried to turn this one guy heel, and it did not work.
Oh,
in this match.
I should know. Ooh.
A major superstar. Again, my hint is always the same. I say he had a couple of the best years I've ever seen for any wrestler.
Angle?
Kurt Angle versus... Again, it could be wrong.
Was it Angle and Booker?
They're saying Eugene.
No way. That sounds funny. Okay, I gotta see.
They said 2005.
Angle and Eugene's a wild matchup if that's the case.
Meanwhile, SummerSlam 2006.
They did. No way. For his medal, too.
There you go.
That's
See?
funny.
ChatGPT knows more than
That's
you.
pretty funny.
SummerSlam 06. Big age difference, 2 major stars.
Hogan and Orton?
Correct. Was that one bad? I don't remember.
I don't know, but it was a Hogan match. That was his last match.
Oh, was
Hogan
it?
and Orton. So, yeah, I mean, it's Hogan in the mid 2000s, or that's the latter 2000s technically. So I can't imagine it was good.
SummerSlam 93. 2 awesome in-ring performers, so I'm pretty surprised that this is listed as a bad match.
Okay.
I don't have
Is it
anything
Shawn
else
and
for
someone?
it. It is.
Really? Was it Shawn and...
And
Who could it
somebody
be?
really talented from, I would say, the previous generation. They overlapped a little bit.
Flair?
He's not alive anymore.
No,
Was
not
never
Flair.
a champion. Was never the main champion. Was never the heavyweight champion. He's awesome. His kid was there for a bit and never amounted to anything. He was in WCW.
Damn. Not Pillman.
No.
Why am I... Pillman. Oh, damn.
More famous in the 80s,
Bulldog?
probably. No, Mr. Perfect.
Oh.
If that happened.
They had a bad man. That is weird.
Right? If that was the
I mean,
case.
I haven't seen much of Perfect, but obviously I've heard great things.
He was
That is
amazing.
weird.
One of the best sellers ever.
Interesting.
If that's even right, who knows? SummerSlam 2010.
What was it, 93?
Yeah,
I'll double
93.
check just for fun.
SummerSlam 2003, big guy, little guy. High expectations, fell short in execution.
2003.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm just looking at 93. Where was it? Sean beat Mr. Perfect by countout. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
That's
that doesn't
fair.
help.
Okay,
So
sorry.
2010, big guy, little guy.
2010.
SummerSlam.
Oh, was it Big Show?
Nope.
Was it Gallows?
Nope.
Is it Ray and someone?
Yes. Ray and
Taker? Kane.
Kane is correct.
Oh, yeah, because that's the one where Undertaker returned because Kane attacked him or something, and then he was playing detective, trying to figure out who did it, but then it was him.
Right.
And they had a Hell in a Cell match where Paul Bearer interfered, and I've heard really bad things about that.
This one you might have mentioned already. SummerSlam 1993.
Oh, Taker and Gonzalez.
Correct.
Yeah, I remember the one SummerSlam they had a rematch from Mania 9. Because, wait, this one might have been better, though, because they didn't have the chloroform-soaked rag
Nice.
from Mania 9.
The ether. I like when they use the word ether better. So this one's described
That's straight
as
out of Thor, yeah.
a slow, uneventful encounter with a disqualification finish made this a low point for the Undertaker's streak.
According to Wikipedia, it was a rest in peace match.
Oh boy.
That sounds awesome.
So the final one, number 1, is SummerSlam 1995.
Oh, that is a bad SummerSlam. I've heard. Well, 95 is a bad year for them.
It is a gimmick match.
Is it? Kiss My Foot?
No.
Okay, wait. Is it? It's not Mabel and Diesel.
It's like a signature match for the one guy.
Is it Mabel and Diesel?
No, it's not.
Really?
It is big dudes though.
It's not Mabel. That's weird because
I wonder if this
I've
one.
heard bad things about Mabel and Diesel.
I wonder if this one actually happened.
Is it Yoko and someone?
No.
Taker?
No.
Isaac Yankem?
No. DDS.
Oh,
I'm actually checking the card to make sure it was on there.
I don't.
It was on there.
So
all-time big man in his signature type
Bundy?
of match. No.
Who
Wow,
is
you're
a
bad at
signature
this. You
match?
say you know wrestling, or like a match that he's super common in, at least. Big guy.
what
The-
other
they're
big guys
like
around
the
there?
big the who's the best, arguably most important big man in the
Andre?
No, after that, like 90s and on. Oh my God, he won like 39 times in a row at whatever pay-per-view. He's like,
Taker?
yeah,
I swear I said Taker.
no, I don't think
okay.
so. Maybe I missed it.
It was a casket match
Yes,
with Mankind?
no,
Goldust?
no, I did not know this match happened. Big guy.
Kama?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say big
Okay,
guy
no,
who
I
had a
know.
million characters. The Ultimate
Okay.
Fighting Machine.
It's a Supreme Fighting Machine?
Sorry, it's Supreme Fighting.
Okay.
Right.
You gotta make it better.
So there you go.
I feel like I have heard bad things.
That actually,
I'm-
I looked that up. It did happen. I don't know if
I'm
it's good or not.
surprised. Yeah, that's also
But the
Birth
match
Buffet.
happened in the right year. So.
I'm really surprised that they did not do Diesel and King Mabel because that's the year of King Mabel, baby. That was not good.
Maybe Chat GPT didn't see
Oh
it.
God. Okay, I'm just looking. I also looked at it, but like this is not a good SummerSlam because like you got Hakushi and 1-2-3K, which
Hakushi was dope.
probably good in ring.
How dare you?
But Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Bob Holly, that's just not good on like from a star power perspective. But this one makes me laugh. It's Smoking Guns, which is Billy and Bart Gunn, which is funny. But then there's the Blue Brothers, which is
know.
the Harris
Awful.
brothers, but Uncle Zebekiah,
You know who that is?
Zeb Coulter.
Right.
Yeah, I just love the name so much. And Barry
Horowitz and Skip.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's
Bertha Faye of
on
London Brothers.
SummerSlam though. Barry, no disrespect to Candido, but
So there was Isaac Yankem. He faced Bret Hart on that one.
yeah, that's why I was thinking.
And that's the famous ladder match, right? Michaels and Razor.
That's the second famous ladder match.
Not
this,
the big
This is the
one.
rematch one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, you did well on the trivia, and ChatGPT seems to be getting a bit better at it, so it's closing the gap on you.
Yeah, they actually did decent on this one. What do you mean closing the gap? I'm getting it too.
But now we will move into
If they can stump me for most of the quiz. That's
all the other wrestling we watched this week and what we liked and didn't like as we cherry pick, and whatever the opposite of that is, in what we call Highspots and Restholds. All right, so you have a post you really want to let me know. You don't have any raw stuff. I'll get into NXT in a minute, but what did you just find?
I get a good chuckle out of this. Okay,
about?
So they added a match to Summerslam, and it's something Vince would do, and it's something they used to.
That doesn't narrow much down.
They always did at Mania to get a lot of people on the card.
Battle Royal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just any Battle Royal, a Slim Jim SummerSlam Battle Royal.
Nice. Macho Man's winning.
That makes me laugh. And then
what's the stakes for it? Anything?
It literally just said that there's people from wrong. That's the audio from my video.
You get Slim Jims. You get high sodium cured meats.
Remember there was that random Battle Royal at the Survivor Series the one time, and then the Street Profits just stole the Pizza Hut?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I feel like it's gonna be like that. It literally just says it's a Battle Royal it's a co-branded Battle Royal. It's presented by Slim Jim. I mean, I can only hope it's as good as their last branded match.
Can't wait.
Mountain Dew, baby.
All right, NXT. Let's talk about it. You watched some. I forget how much.
I also forget how much.
I
did see something, but I don't remember what it was.
I like the opening segment in ring. It was Dom and Ripley in the ring, and Dom is sort of being himself and talking about. I thought it was funny.
Being himself.
Finally making his family name relevant, right? And the crowd hates him. Ripley is kind of addressing Valkyria's request for a match. Wes Lee comes out. He's all fired up and angry, obviously, because he lost his title through cheating from Dom last week. He talks about putting his heart and soul into his title run, wants a rematch. Mustafa Ali comes out. He talks about how he loves and respects Wes Lee, but he doesn't like Dom. And then he says that Dominic steals things like his dad's 619 and his other dad's Frog Splash, which I thought was a pretty funny line. Then Ali sort of complains about, he actually says this clown, referring to Wes Lee dropping the ball and losing the title. So now obviously Lee's getting upset with Ali, and Ali's getting upset saying he was in line for a title shot, but it's Wes Lee's fault for taking the match against Dom.
Yeah, I saw a bit of that. I thought it was good. I saw it on Instagram.
I liked it, yeah.
Yeah.
Ali warned Wes about taking this match, but Wes was too stupid to listen to him. Again, Mustafa Ali's words here. Dominic says he doesn't care who it is at Bash, and Ripley says Dom could fight both of them. Dom ends up shoving Mustafa Ali, who then goes to hit Dom. Dom ducks. Ali obviously hits Wes Lee instead. So they fight for a little bit as Dominic and Ripley sort of retreat. And then later on in the show, I also liked, because Dom is sort of starting to question, is it really a good idea for me to face both of these guys at the same time? And Ripley's just like, mommy is always right. And so I think Dom's starting to sort of question just following Rhea Ripley. Everything.
It'd be interesting for them to tease that. It doesn't seem like something they would do, because that seems like a good thing going for them. I don't know. That's interesting that they're teasing that, because
right, like he would never question her in front of her, but he's sort of realizing why are you making this harder for me?
I'm surprised that they would tease that, because I think I don't know. It just seems like something they wouldn't mess with.
Right. I like the dynamic here. I think Dom's really good as the slimy heel. Ripley's believable as the one in charge of him, right? And that she's putting him in tough situations regardless of how he feels about it. And then the issues with Mustafa Ali and Wes Lee are kind of coming to a head. And you kind of figured this was heading to a triple threat. And all things considered, this wasn't a bad way to get there, right?
Like a solid three-way.
Yeah, I think so. Another high spot I thought Lyra Valkyria did a pretty solid job in an interview. And she just kind of wants to know where she stands, so she's going after the biggest star she can find, and that's Rhea Ripley as kind of the measuring stick. They know each other from NXT UK days, I think, right? So
do they?
I think she says she's not gonna wait in the shadows like JC Jane, and tonight it's about her, and she's gonna show the world who she is. So she's playing it a little bit more straightforward, I think, which I prefer, less of the bird imagery and stuff. So because she's awesome in the ring, man, and she's gonna show it again in this show. So I think this was an improved promo from her too. Something I thought there was an underwhelming 6-man tag here. I don't think it was bad, but I was hoping for better.
Oh, it was a Schism and something.
It was Mello, Trick, and Ilya Dragunov taking on Schism. So I don't know.
Roots, one tree.
I don't know what happened in the middle of this, but Gacy was bleeding, and I don't think obviously that was intentional because they don't really do blood.
They do not.
And then Gacy basically dodges an uppercut. Dragunov accidentally hits Trick into the steel steps with it. So this sort of comes back a couple times in this show. Trick's really mad about it. It continues, and he ends up confronting Dragunov at the end. So the finish comes in this one as two guys in yellow masks, followers of the schism, I guess. They trip Fowler and Reed on the apron, and so Dragunov ends up avoiding a Gacy splash attempt. Mello tags in, hits nothing but net for the win. So the idea was there's some dissension within the ranks, and I assume it's the two that we've always assumed look just like the Creeds, right? So
no, it's dissension.
It could be. Again, after the match, Trick's mad about Dragunov. Mello's trying to keep him from going after Dragunov. And so I thought there was decent action in this, but Mello, Dragunov, and the Dyad have been really good lately. I was kind of underwhelmed with what I got, and maybe Dragunov and Mello are saving it for the pay-per-view or whatever, but I don't think it was bad, but nothing special. And if this is the Creeds, my question to you is, how do they get around the loser leaves NXT stipulation from that match? If this is the Creeds and they're not gone, like, how do they explain still being booked in a match? They're supposed to be gone they lost a loser leaves NXT match.
Yeah, but they're not.
But they didn't leave NXT.
The disguise.
So when they reveal they're still there, how do we explain that?
That's I don't. They should just left. I don't know. This is weird.
It is weird.
And yeah, I'm not sure how that works. And then it's like, do we have like? I swear to God, if they do a match to get their jobs back, and that would be dumb.
It might.
I could totally see them doing that. Would be dumb.
And I guess the idea is Gacy's abandoned here all alone, and maybe that starts the splintering of. It seems like. I feel like they're poised to have Ava take over things. And I don't know what Gacy does after that.
I hope that.
I just think they're looking to up her role without putting her in the ring because she's really bad.
Well, she's not good on the mic.
She's not, but I feel like they can.
I hope they're poised to get the Dyad out of there.
I hope so too.
But I think that dream is dead.
Then I thought there was a strong pre-recorded segment from the women's champion. Stratton was talking about how great she is at 24, which is pretty impressive. She's pretty young. And that
for some reason I thought you were talking about a game for a second.
And that she's nowhere near her prime, and she looks better than anyone else, and she's not going to have her title taken away by a 19-year-old brat in Thea Hale.
Oh.
She said that Hale has energy, but it would be catastrophic for Hale to be champion. And I thought this was her usual. Not always. She's had a couple live promos I didn't love, but I thought this was her strong character work back again. And she's a really great opponent for like the plucky young baby face of Hale to work off.
It's a good dynamic to work
It really
with, right?
is. You've got a super strong heel and a lovable little baby face, right? High spot again, Von Wagner this week.
This is okay.
Squashed Javier Bernal, right? After their dealings in the past.
Yeah.
Then power bombs Bernal through the announce table, and is sort of like soaking in the cheers from the crowd because this is like the first time anyone supported him or whatever. So you can see, I think he's about to do it again, and then again, camera work done really well here. Braun just out of nowhere spears him and takes him out. So
I thought that was going to be added to the bash, but I guess it's like too soon.
They got a lot done here in a few minutes. I honestly
don't say it.
Vaughn beats Breaker, maybe.
Really?
Because I feel like Breaker's.
I thought you were gonna say you like him.
I feel like Breaker's on the way out, and they're putting a lot into Wagner right now as a babyface, right? So I don't know if they're gonna sidetrack. They've actually made like some progress with Wagner. Can you have him lose now?
I guess not. Are you liking him? Or?
I'm not liking him. I'm liking what he's done. I still don't know if like a 15-minute Von Wagner match is going to be anything I want. No. But I like the real story about his surgery and being an outcast and all of that. I think it's cool. And the killing he's done of Bernal has been interesting. But do I think he's ready for like a main, like even a PLE lengthy match? Not sure. Right? Not sure. Resthold big time for me is that Gable Steveson is probably staying as we predicted, but Corbin's going to be his first opponent. So I thought
Corbin loves those Olympians, let me tell you.
I thought Steveson sounded really bad here. Did you see any of this? Just kind of wooden.
I did not.
His choice is no surprise. We talked about it last week. My fear is that Corbin loses.
He's just going to go back to them.
Does Corbin lose to him?
Yeah.
Which then is derailing what I thought they were trying to do with Corbin, right? Which was build him into like a pretty solid big man.
Right, I appreciate the effort in Corbin, but this kind of would, derail that, right? And then it's like, what's the point if you're just going to kind of revert him back to
So then I think
losing?
it's possible Stevenson does one match and loses to sort of build Corbin, establish him a little, and then he does go to the Olympics or whatever he's doing. Or as Joe Negron from
I
Smart
don't
Wrestling would
know.
say, jail is where he should be going.
What did he do? I don't remember.
It was some
I swear, I know I've
sort
asked
of
before.
sexual assault
Okay,
type thing
something
that
like
got swept under the rug.
because he's
possibly.
big Olympian boy.
Correct.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I don't. I
think.
would like to think you're right,
And then I think
could
it's been
happen,
like
but
scrubbed from the internet too, if I remember
that's
correctly.
dumb. But I don't know if I could see them sacrificing building their new Kurt Angle, let's say. Not saying he is, but to them, for Baron Corbin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sacrificing this new Olympian big wrestler guy for Corbin.
But then
I
if he's
would like
gone
them
for
to.
like a year or two,
I guess
it doesn't
but I feel like
matter.
they'd like to keep him without a loss.
and then
I
they'll
don't
bring him
know.
back to avenge it. I don't know. It's possible.
I would hope so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Gable Steveson and Dylan Martinez were arrested after a female reported she had been raped on June 15th and went to hospital for
Okay.
treatment,
Okay.
et
Oof.
cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There was then conflicting versions, and nothing really happened.
That is certainly something.
Mhm.
Woo. We love the real world knowledge. It's beautiful.
So a high spot,
Woo.
if I can give a rest hold to something that wasn't bad for under delivering, like the 6-man tag, then I guess I can give a high spot to something that I thought was going to be really bad, but
Well,
was
yeah,
okay.
because if it surprised
So,
you pleasantly, then yeah.
Guess what
yes.
match that would be?
Okay. Well, I don't remember what was on NXT.
A women's match this week.
Okay.
That I would think was going to be pretty bad.
Was it something with JC Jane?
No.
Gigi Dolan?
Who's my favorite that just came back?
Kiana?
That has boosted the ratings that we joke about. The
Dana
reason
Brooke.
correct.
That was good.
It wasn't terrible. Was the kendo stick match wasn't terrible,
But there wasn't a poll.
and I thought there was a chance that it could be terrible. I don't think it was amazing, but listen,
Well, yeah, it's never going to be amazing.
there were some stiff kendo shots.
Okay.
Dana Brooke took a really hard fall on the announce table. It was a really simple, Jade just swept her legs out with her hand, and she fell hard.
Okay.
And it was only 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you let them hit each other with sticks, they don't actually have to wrestle a lot, which is not their strength.
Okay, yeah, so they're not wrestling. That now makes sense.
Right? So was it
up.
amazing? No, not at all. Did it far exceed I put my fears and expectations? Yes.
I like the word fears. That seems very apropos.
Brooke getting a win and Jade taking the loss, a bit surprising. It seems like they're pumping the brakes on Cora Jade a bit, which I don't disagree with.
That seems right because they're going to push Brooke C's main roster. Yeah, and that seems right too.
But there was a while where I was like, Jade's the next champion, is what she was seeming like. Not that I agree with that choice, but that looked like
I remember
the choice.
her when I was watching 2.0. She sucks.
She's improved a bit, but I feel like she's
improved
plateaued.
in aspects and also
Right.
Hopefully it's not like a Jade Cargill thing. That would suck.
Another thing I didn't love was just a really basic tag match. They wanted Nima and Price on TV again, so they got a 5-minute match.
Oh yeah.
Against Tony and Stacks. I actually thought Nima and Price looked better than last week, but that's not saying much. They looked super rough last week.
It's a low bar.
Still a basic match, and that gets Tony and Stacks a win ahead of the Great American Bash when they challenge Gallus, right, for the titles. Resthold, as it probably will always be, even though I like him, Dijak speaks. That you saw that, I think.
I don't know.
He's at a table with sunglasses, trying to sound intimidating.
I feel like I might have seen it. I don't know if I was paying attention to remember it.
Basically talking about how one win for Eddie Thorpe does not make him a title contender, and that in the ring, Dijak is the law, and Eddie can't
that
beat
just
him.
Sounds dumb.
Something about his delivery is just off.
Yeah,
and at this point, I fear it's hopeless. Right, this guy's been wrestling for over a decade now.
He's cool in the ring, but
he is cool in the ring.
So many guys though, like
but I don't
Roddy.
know what you
and,
do with him,
right? Yeah,
I guess you have to put him with a mouthpiece.
Yeah, I appreciate the effort. In the character, right? Because at least they're trying something, but I don't think it's worked.
It is not working.
I feel like if he had stayed in NXT, Bivens would have been cool.
It would have been great for him.
Not in Diamond Mine. I don't think Dijak fits in Diamond Mine. I mean, maybe, but probably not.
No,
actually, no.
I don't think
Scratch
so.
it. No, but just purely just like Bivens or Hathaway, whatever you want to call him, with Dijak. I think that could have worked because Stokely's a great mouthpiece. So
he is. Another thing I didn't love, and I think you saw this or some of it, NXT tries to recreate a classic brawl.
Yeah, that was bad. I did not like that.
Perez and Davenport brawl in a grocery store, and some of it looked like, at one point, Perez is hitting her with empty cardboard boxes. Like
that was lame.
I thought the final slam of the freezer door into Davenport looked okay.
That's right.
And
I was really, I mean, obviously they would never do it, but in an ideal world, she goes through the door.
And I kind
She
of
goes
thought
through
it
the
was
glass.
interesting they experimented with camera, right? So you had seemed like actual camera in there. Then you had security
camera
and bystander cam.
I think.
So I thought that was cool.
I think it was security, bystander, and the guy at the counter was one of them.
And then
I don't think any of them were like a straight like normal wrestling camera. I think there was either like there's 2 phones in the security footage.
And then I also liked at the end because the death blow was the door to Davenport, and then as Perez is saying whatever, like this is just a taste of whatever it is. As she's kind of backing out the door, you can hear like police sirens approaching in the distance, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah, but then Perez went out there though.
But somebody would call the police if people are brawling, so that made it feel a bit realistic.
Yeah,
right? Didn't love the metaphor this week either. I thought Dar was still entertaining, but I thought it went on for far too long.
Is it the one with the cup?
Where they made him a fake cup, and that was the funny part. And he immediately recovers. Right, he goes from completely like catatonic to like back to normal,
unresponsive to anything.
And then Fraser and Dragon Lee come out, and they basically say that Dar's a fraud. Obviously,
it made me laugh because I like the whole interim unifying the belts thing. Like when Sammy had the 2 TNT titles, that made me chuckle. But just the idea of someone
2 cups
carrying around 2 cups just makes me laugh.
It was like his child had been returned to him, right? It was funny.
I would think. Okay, hear me out. If Noam Dar gets a cut back and then he's carrying around 2 cups, he could make that really funny. Like, I mean, as much as I like to say having the 2 same belts is amusing, whatever, having Noam Dar with 2 cups would actually be funny.
And just how big and cumbersome they are for him to carry around.
Exactly. It'd be really funny.
Yeah. So Lee and Fraser come out, and then Yulisa Leone and Valentina Feroz, think I nailed those, actually. They attack the women in Metaphor from behind, so they sort of sneak in the ring.
They did do that.
So I'm fine with Fraser, Lee, and Dar still being in an orbit and sort of interacting and facing each other. Any combination of that's fine. Mm-hmm. The women's match that we're getting, I'm sure a tag match, is not super exciting, but I just thought this segment was a bit too long. Dar's part's always entertaining, but they did a bit too much with like Lash and the other woman who I forget.
Jakara Jackson.
Yeah.
They're doing an 8-person tag at Bash.
Yeah. Right. Can't wait. We'll talk about it, I guess.
Yep.
I thought there was a cool Thea Hale hype video ahead of her match. Lots of focus on how young she is, how she's mastered this Kimura and is going to make Stratton tap again. And in this, I still see little hints of Hudson like trying to steal the spotlight or being up to something, right?
I feel like and as someone
which has been a super slow burn.
It could be like kind of a thing, and I don't really watch. I don't know, but like it could be a thing where, like, cause he clearly enjoyed all the attention being the MVP, right? He still has the trophy around. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
And so he clearly loves all that and having that around. So maybe like he's being supportive, whatever. And I saw a bit of the package where he's being super supportive and whatever, but. Maybe it could be like a thing where like now she's getting all the attention.
Yes.
He's trying to be the star student kind of thing. I don't know, something like that, right?
And I think
when Chase was gone, he was being the teacher. He was like kind of running the show, and maybe he liked that.
I feel like they originally planned to have that already done already, but they actually developed some chemistry. And then Chase was gone.
Kind of like a much, much smaller scale Sami Zayn. Obviously, a little bit of a different dynamic, but like
because he's
kind of a similar thing on Hudson's, a much smaller scale.
This has been the best role for Hudson for sure. Yeah, he's been actually really good.
I remember when he was playing poker.
He's a throwback for me. He kind of reminds me of like a 80s guy a little bit. But anyway,
he's not horrible.
Something I quite liked was the women's match, Rhea Ripley and Lyra Valkyria. So got 11 minutes. Ripley retained with the Riptide, but I thought really good pace. Lyra looked really good and got a lot out of this. She was never going to win here, right? But she gained a lot, I think. Dom obviously got involved at one point and ended up taking a drop kick for Rhea. And Ripley and Valkyria continue to impress me. I don't get to see Ripley a ton, right? I'm not really watching a lot of main roster stuff, but what I loved her Mania match, was it?
Yeah, the one I didn't watch.
Right.
I fell asleep.
And if they can iron out Lyra's character, and I think they are actually trying to, they may really have something. I don't know. She may fall short of like Vince's beauty standards or whatever ridiculous criteria he has.
I mean, if Vince isn't as involved, hopefully it's not much of a factor.
But she can wrestle, man, and she is super fluid the way she moves.
I mean, no disrespect to Ripley. I feel like Ripley's kind of got a similar aesthetic to her, though.
Yeah.
So if Ripley can make I'm not like in a disrespectful way to Ripley, but if like Ripley can make it, they have like somewhat of a similar look. Obviously, Ripley's much bigger in stature, but like, you know what I'm trying to say, right? So I feel like that gives like a somewhat of an opening for Valkyria,
I hope so.
perhaps.
I like her a lot. And then we had I didn't really care too much, but just worth mentioning, Trick and Dragunov brawl to end the show. Trick
weird.
gets the better of him at first. Dragunov turns it around, and then Mello ends up stepping in and taking a Torpedo Moscow for Trick, etc., etc. Then looking at Impact quickly, I like the opening women's tag. It was Trinity and Danny Luna of Subculture taking on the Coven. Competitive match.
Great lineup.
Luna's in for a long part of this to set up a Trinity hot tag, obviously. Luna reminds me of early on and pre-shredded Jordan Grace. It's a similar build and the whole like
I do remember what you're talking
former
about.
power lifter. I kind of thought Luna looked okay here.
Yeah,
and
Jordan Grace, like it's really weird how different she is now, because she used to be like
shredded now.
Yeah, like I don't know what the word to describe how she was without being rude, but like
she was built like a power lifter, and now she's built like a bodybuilder, and those are different things. She is,
yeah,
and she was both of those things.
Yeah, but she's definitely
sense.
a lot different now.
So Trinity, I think it was like a Bubba Bomb with the bridge. They went after 9 minutes, and the only thing I don't love is that like a non-team forms and beats an established, like was just the champions, but
yeah,
that's wrestling sometimes.
That's kind of a thing now.
I enjoyed Leo Rush this week. He is there basically for himself, and he is, I guess he's a heel, maybe a tweener, and he's kind of pissing off everybody. He doesn't really care, and I like that.
I dig that.
And another detail I really liked, because I don't think WWE could resist it, but even the people in a confrontation with him who are talking trash to him make no mention of his size. Like, you're too small to be no mention of that.
Well, they literally put him as like a mic man for Lashley, who's huge. So they meant I swear they mentioned that like all the time.
So so we basically had Myers and Moose confront Rush backstage about not being fully committed to their whatever. Rush doesn't care. Then he starts making some implications about Bully Ray, and Bully shows up like, are you talking to me, trying to intimidate him? And he's like, yeah, actually I am, right? Like, he doesn't really seem to care.
Respect.
So I like that, and I see that he's hurt though, so I'm hoping it's not for too long, because I'm liking Leo Rush.
I mean, we said it before, I still miss the team with Dante.
Yeah.
That was a good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Really disappointed in Dirty Dango teaming up with Johnny Bravo. Started last week, continued this week. So Dango's talking a bunch of crap about Santino and Santino's daughter, sort of implying that they have a relationship, obviously. And then Bravo's acting as his security, and they're like going through his credentials of like, how long were you in Vietnam? And he'll be like, almost a week or something. You know, obviously the implication is he was in the Vietnam War, and he was not. So I don't know. Dango had kind of something fresh and new, and now it's like slowly.
I really like whatever one that was that you showed me.
Right, and now it's slipping into like something that feels like it's gonna get similar to the tone of Breezango, right?
But hey, Breezango was sick.
Was cool, but he was doing this like Dango was this. I'm this rich veteran, and yes, I made all my money off doing comedy stuff, but I don't care. And I'll keep taking checks from Impact. They don't even have to have me do anything. I'm just here watching these stupid kids be stupid backstage and cashing checks. But now it's like I have a comedy sidekick, and I think it's going to get derailed pretty fast.
It only works when it's Tyler Breeze, damn it.
Another thing I didn't like was Zicky Dice versus
I also like the Joe Hendry video. I forgot.
Johnny Swinger. This was Loser Leaves Impact. So Swinger acts like he's going to take the count-out loss, and then surprise turns and takes out Dice, and I don't know who cares. Like, both of these guys could be gone today, and I don't know who would care.
You wouldn't notice.
I wouldn't notice.
Then they pop back up, and you'd be like, oh.
Another women's match. Again, Impact does this well. It was short, but I liked it. It was Giselle Shaw. She defeated Masha Slamovich with a really good-looking running knee strike. Only got about 6 minutes, but I thought there was some good action. Obviously, you have Jay Vidal and Killer Kelly and Savannah Evans all getting involved leading into the finish of this. This left me kind of wanting these two in a longer match if possible, because Giselle Shaw's really athletic and moves really well, and sort of she works well with Masha, who's just like a killer, right? So I like the dynamic. I'd like it again, although I'm not quite sure who's the babyface there. I thought another good 6-minute match, as weird as that is to say. I think you saw a bit of it. It was Mike Bailey and Wentz.
I saw the finish. Or I remember
Miguel spray paints Bailey, and Wentz hits his headlock driver thing. But they had a segment before too, and the Rascals really annoy me because they're behaving like 14-year-old boys. And they're not like
Oh yeah, I saw
20-year-old
the thing
kids
with the popcorn.
anymore. Yeah, it was really annoying outside when they talked to Bailey and everything. Who Bailey, I love his like just super calm, straightforward, like very
like him.
centered martial artist sort of promos. I like that. Then I thought the mediocre main event and I thought the aftermath was kind of weak. So it was Eric Young beating Nick Aldis in 9 minutes with a pile driver. Fine, but nothing special. And I think Aldis is on his way out, right? So this was kind of what I expected.
Pile driver's a weird finisher now.
Well, it's the oh no, he's not the J
Young
Driller.
does do it good, but no, that'd be Alexander. Or Cody does it sometimes.
But
mostly Alexander.
The final images of the show annoyed me because Diener and Khan come out and attack Eric Young, who they literally murdered. Diener murdered this man on television months ago,
like a shiv or something,
right? And so now they're back. The design being anywhere near a major story or ending a show is a mistake at this point. They are weaker than ever.
Sure, they murdered him, but he chokeslammed Eric Young 3 times. Like that's pretty brutal.
Design just lost a member and look like they're about to disband, and now you have them as the lasting image on your show that I don't understand, and I don't like that choice.
Worse than the design being like as a faction on your TV is than this duo, because it's just like. They're the weakest, kind of weird.
The weakest version of a weak faction.
Yeah,
a weakest version of a faction that never really does anything.
It doesn't do them any favors, and it doesn't make it any better for you.
So whatever. I guess we'll see where that goes. I'm not thrilled about like Eric Young being back and being thrown in any sort of main event stuff either, because he's fine, but he's an older fella now, and I don't know. And I've seen enough of Eric Young. I want more room for younger guys. But
kind of miss Sanity. They were all right.
That's the stuff I watched this week. Did we? I guess SmackDown just happened. You probably don't have anything from SmackDown.
Not really.
So I guess we'll move into our preview now, right? We've got a PLE to preview, and that is tomorrow nights. If you're listening on this Saturday, that is NXT's Great American Bash. All right, so I haven't put a lot of thought into this, but I also am the one that watches the show, so I should have some
I did my picks in a matter of like 45 seconds.
I'm sure I'll have opinions. Let's go.
Stevenson, Corbin. I'm just going with Stevenson. If there's no way they're picking Corbin over their new guy.
I'll take Corbin just for the interest of.
I like your thought process actually. I just don't. I'm taking the safe pick.
Like he takes a loss, is gone for a year, comes back and is like, I'm a different person now, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to avenge that and then go on a run.
I guess the only upshot is that the loss can further Corbin's thing more.
Exactly.
You could argue that.
And then you're...
No, I mean like Corbin losing.
Oh.
If Corbin were to lose, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I could work.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying, though.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Roxanne Perez versus Blair Davenport in my least favorite name for a match. Or that's a stretch. There's worse names, but Weapons Wild match. Like, just call it no DQ. God damn it. I took Perez. It just seems like the payoff we're getting.
I'm taking Davenport. I just feel like
she already won.
She's the one they're focusing on. But yeah, it would make sense for Perez to get her win back, and I think that's possible. I'm not super confident, but I'm going to take Davenport.
Metaphor.
I feel like they've been waiting to pull the trigger on Davenport, and injuries and stuff have slowed her down.
I feel they could stretch this feud out longer though, because they have a heel champion right now.
They do,
unless Thea Hale wins, but I don't know.
Then
we got Metaphor versus Fraser, Dragon Lee, Leon, and Feroz. I could see the babyfaces winning, but I took Metaphor because I like them, and because they're an actual.
All right, I'll take the faces then. Wow, we're different on every match so far.
It's
crazy.
Crazy face team.
Yep.
That's easier for me. Stratton, Thea, Hale. I think this is where we agree.
I take Stratton to retain.
Agreed.
Hale's like not quite ready in the ring.
I see
close.
The
She's awesome.
I see the potential for the upset, but it's a really small. Like I'm not super confident.
In 2 or 3 years from now, this could be like super awesome feud if each of these women stay on the trajectory they're on.
Yeah,
because they're both fantastic for the amount they've wrestled.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a big deal, but I think Stratton retains.
Gallus
and maybe Hudson turns out of that. Maybe
that's true. Gallus, D'Angelo's.
Fairly confidently taking the Italian mobsters here.
I'll write that.
It just feels like everything is set up for them to get this, right?
I also took them. For some reason I wrote Gallus.
And Gallus are just kind of like, Gallus are a team that don't feel like they need the titles to me.
No.
So
I wrote, and I quote, the Italian mobsters.
Right.
So that's
the most stereotypical mobsters ever.
We got Dirty Dom versus Wesley versus Mustafa Ali for the North American title. What
do you think of this one?
Dom.
You're taking Dom to retain?
I think it would be a waste to either have Ali win the title, because then he should have just beaten Wesley for it, or have Wesley win it back, because then why did he lose it? I think the only thing they can do is give Dom the title and give him a bit more time with it, and he can defend it on main roster like he's done. He can defend it here. I think anything other than Dom keeping is kind of a waste of having Wesley drop it.
Yeah.
Because then, he should have just kept it because he's on a great run.
And I just don't think they're done using this as a prop for Dom yet.
Yeah.
Even to be like, we run everything, we're money in the bank, we're champion,
fine.
we're champion.
Yeah, I think it's a fine thing to do.
Yep.
So
I think he retains as well, just because I don't. Anyone else winning feels awkward at this point.
Yeah, and it would just kind of annoy me because then, I don't have an inherent issue with Dom winning it. Sure, it kind of irks me because he's main roster, but it's fine if they have a purpose behind it. But
right.
To me, if they just switch it back or switch it to someone else, that's where it would annoy me, because then you shouldn't have brought Dom to have the title.
And I'm sure there'll be shenanigans in this one as well.
Obviously, you can maybe get Priest in there or something.
It's fine.
Not for a cash-in. We're not doing that. That's
no.
dumb. Mello Dragunov for the NXT Championship.
I think Mello retains.
I also took Mello.
I don't think his run is over, and I think Dragunov unfortunately might not be long for NXT.
Mm-hmm. I saw something about him maybe on SmackDown.
He can lose on his way out.
I saw he don't want Imperium, I think.
He'd what?
He don't want Imperium.
No.
I wouldn't either.
No, he should be his own thing, but
yeah,
he's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So we got decent amount of.
We got some different picks there
and disagreements. I think there's 7 matches. Okay, we disagreed on 3, so that'll be interesting.
That's pretty good. I think that's more than usual.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go into our final segment this week that will not be as long as last week, I think.
I would hope not.
Jack's going to give us a bit of an update on his figure hunt from his birthday the other day in what we call Figuring It Out with Jack. All right, describe the hunt and what you found.
I gotta remember what I got.
It looked grim for a little while.
It did look grim, yeah.
Things picked up at the end.
First couple malls we went to were the one near Callis Wonderland, nothing.
So first mall we went to is about 45, 50 minutes away.
Yeah, the one
found
near
nothing.
Callis Wonderland.
Right.
Another mall with a Walmart and a Toys R Us.
So about half an hour away from that mall in a different direction.
I think that's where I got the book.
You did get the book.
I got a Star Wars book that's in between the Jedi games, the Fallen Order and Survivor.
So mostly for our non-Canadian listeners looking to hit Toys R Us, because we still have those in Canada. They carry figures, and Walmart basically, and GameStop.
And GameStop,
because they carry more figures these days.
Have some AEW stuff, yeah. And then obviously the best store I can get at is Bounty Hunter, but I get like 1 or 2 visits a year.
Right. And then so we hit the malls were not super fruitful. And then we hit three Walmarts on the way home.
One near my old Taekwondo place, and then a couple before that. I think it was the first one. There was nothing. I want to say, I think that's where there was nothing. And then you got something at the first one. Okay, yeah, the first one I think is when I got the Wardlow. I found Unmatched 2 Wardlow.
Yes.
They had also Ty Conti. So at the mall Walmart, they had Unmatched 2. They had Proud and Powerful, which I have.
Yeah.
And Ty Conti, which I didn't really care for.
No.
And I was thinking I would consider getting Wardlow if they had it, which they didn't have it there. And I've heard that's a good it feels good in hand. It's got solid articulation, whatever like that. And so yeah. I found Wardlow at the next Walmart, and so I got him. So
and I like when you find figures you don't have any Wardlow, so that's cool. I like that. Yeah, my favorite. So yes, you found him.
Figure database, and there's a Wardlow with the purple singlet and the white, and it's got the texture on it. That's nice. It's a Walmart exclusive one, so hopefully I find that sometime. But then I think there's nothing at the next one. Then the last Walmart, which is the one closest to us.
Yep.
Oh wait, no. Okay, no. So the second Walmart we found things at all the Walmarts. My mistake.
Correct.
The second Walmart.
I thought so. All 3.
Yeah, the second Walmart. I got the ones I have here. I found just randomly. There's Elite 96 Ilya Dragunov, which is cool because don't have him.
With somebody had snaked the belt, but you already have it.
I already have 2 of that belt. And we like Dragunov, so that was an instant one.
Yeah, another dude you don't have, so that's cool.
Yeah, Dragunov's cool to have, and then I got Elite 98 Demon Balor because gotta get the Demon Balors. I think Demon Balor Elites. I'm missing 3.
He's so toyetic.
He is toyetic. I like this one. This is the one where he flopped like a fish.
Yeah.
In the only Extreme Rules match on the card.
Right.
Memories.
And then
the last one,
closest to home.
Walmart, the closest one to home. Not the one that we do have a Walmart near us, but not the one. The second closest one,
Right.
we'll say. Right off the highway to that town. I got the Elite 99 Matt Riddle with the scooter and the red trunks, which is cool. That's where we found I got the Chase Boogeyman and the long coveted Elite 99 Seth Rollins. So I got the Matt Riddle from that set as well. They also had Queen Zelina, so you can imagine my frustration to pick one.
Right.
That was very difficult.
Choices are hard.
Choices.
So basically, we took about half a day to look for stuff, and you found all that stuff within about a half hour.
What do you think the furthest we had to go?
We could have done it in like an hour, but we took it for like an afternoon, which is fine. I mean, we sort of planned on it.
It happens.
It does.
And then
got to try.
I guess like I mentioned, I got the one you guys got me was Unmatched 4 Hangman in like the cowboy shirt, which is really cool.
That I found
got
randomly.
A bunch of beer cans. Yeah, that one's cool. That's a good GameStop find because they kind of have like iffy ones. Like sometimes they have these ones. Like I got my Ricky Starks from there when we went to Comic-Con. I
see the Street Fighter bucks all the time.
I gotta get in bucks to go with my Kenny here.
Right.
I still haven't yet, but maybe if they're on sale sometime. But the really cool things were
that Hangman was $18.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're usually 30.
And then
in Canada.
we got the paper cutouts of things to come because stuff's on back order.
Basically everything we ordered from Ringside Collectibles.
Better to come late. I'll take it. I'm not complaining. We got Elite 103 Stardust in the polka dots.
Of course.
Because got to get the Stardust.
Got to.
Hey, I love Stardust, okay?
You're the only one.
Hey, he's funny in hindsight. I don't know why.
Although he hated the gimmick so much, the fact that you like it, for my dislike of Cody Rhodes, he hated it and you like it, so that would annoy him, so that makes it okay. In a roundabout way.
You like it because you're accepting it for that
he
reason.
would be upset.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I don't know why. Well, because, like, I don't know why, like, it's not like he's done, like, because I like Boogeyman because his stuff was so weird that it amuses me, because Boogeyman is just, like, why was that ever a thing?
Yeah.
It just makes no sense to me, so it's funny. I don't know why I find Stardust funny, because he's just like...
But you do.
I do, yeah, because when I came in, Stardust was on the way out, and I used to beat the crap out of Stardust, because I remember you told me to get good at the games, which it's paid off now, so you're welcome.
Smart.
I just hook up both controllers, and I just beat the crap out of...
Beat the hell out of a defenseless opponent. That's how you learn.
Yeah, that's how I learned, and so I would play as Seth Rollins, because I've always played as Seth Rollins, till the day I stop playing games. I guess I'll always play as Seth Rollins. In Universe, I was making my champion, for those wondering. And I would just beat the crap out of Stardust all day long.
Yep.
And so yeah, I don't know. I love Stardust because he was Stardust when I came in. So I guess when I was a kid, and I found him funny. Anyways, super happy to get Stardust. That's cool.
Just the most. Our podcast talks about Stardust, I'm pretty sure, more than any podcast in the world.
Hey, and one more thing about that Stardust. It's from my first WrestleMania. So
okay.
It's
nostalgia.
It's a bad WrestleMania. People do not like that WrestleMania, and I understand that, but it's my first WrestleMania, so I dig it. And then probably like the best figure thing that I'm waiting for is we got the Ringside exclusive Ultimate Edition Usos 2-pack, which is pretty sweet. Actually, I'm kind of pumped about that because that was like, I'm not the biggest Usos. I mean, okay, like I do really like the Usos, but like it's not like they're like top of my favorites. But I did really want it because Ultimate Editions are cool because they're the ones with the most articulation. Then also with this being a Ringside exclusive and the Bloodline being hot right now, it was one of those things where it's like, I do really like the Usos, and I was kind of worried about like that kind of like it would sell out, and I missed out on that. You know what I mean? Like it feels like one of those things where like I would like to capitalize. So I'm kind of glad that you guys picked that one because that's a good one to get.
We're smart people.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. It's Jimmy and Jay, and they come in like this cool slip box like together. That's really nice. So that'll be cool. We're waiting on that now. We got both tag titles, so that's cool. That's nice. And then I guess we could mention the AEW merch as well because that was cool.
It counts.
There's the gray hoodie with the MJF one. That says, it literally says "I'm a poor," which that's really fun. I can't wait to just rock up to school in that. Just
because nobody will know what that's about.
It'll make me laugh. Then we got the MJF and Cole tag merch, which gotta love that.
Yep.
The
Better Than You, Baby.
Better Than You, Baby. Had to get that. I love getting Adam Cole shirts. He's always got pretty good shirts, I think. And
what's now a retro AEW shirt with the Elite out of it?
Yeah, the Elite. We got the AEW logo, but it's just the Elite. I think they were sporting that kind of thing when they came back at Full Gear. Because remember, the Bucks gear had that kind of logo on it.
Yeah.
It was just like the Elite. So I think that's a cool one. And then we got the Triclops. That's what the shirt's called, the Death Triangle one. It's It's funny. It's got the death triangle. It's got like the skull with like the instead of eyes, it's got a big triangle on it, and then it says death on the top. Like there's no triangle, so I could also go up to school in a shirt that just says death on it.
Love it.
Which
you will.
I don't think it would get me in trouble, but
no, I don't think
it's
so.
one of those things where school no likey, and that makes me chuckle.
Yes.
So I'm definitely gonna rock up to school in a shirt that just says death on it. Like just I'm not even like emo or whatever you want to call it, but just coming up in a black shirt that says death, just that amuses me greatly.
It will.
It's not as good as the original Death Triangle shirt with just the straight up logo, because that shirt's awesome.
Amazing. I love that shirt.
But Triclops is cool. So
it's the one you were wearing last week on the episode, because I was like,
yeah,
thought you
like,
stole my shirt. I stopped everything to accuse you of stealing my shirt for a minute.
I'm innocent.
Right, you are.
Anyways, decent haul and future. I mean, I'm sure I'll talk about the Usos when I get them, because that'll be pretty.
We'll revisit all of them.
We
when they
will
come
revisit and I will be sure to talk at great length about Stardust.
Awesome.
We got to get the blue one still though.
Well, it's almost 1 a.m. on
7 minutes.
January.
July.
Really?
Really?
Starts with a J, whatever.
Yeah.
Same thing.
You had 3 months to choose
July
from. You chose the farthest one from us.
So we're going to wrap this up because I'm tired and I got to coach basketball tomorrow morning.
We're technically putting it out on a Saturday still.
We are.
Well, I mean, we always do, but like, you know what I mean? We're still recording on Saturday.
We are part of it, yeah. Mm-hmm. The last hour's been recorded on
First
Saturday.
hour on Saturday.
But anyways, we hope that you have enjoyed what you came to listen to. We appreciate you showing up. We will get around to recording our NXT stuff. You even came up with a clever name, which was...
we'll go with the Good Gold Days.
The Good Gold Days.
Good Old Days.
Because it's back when the good old days of the gold and black of NXT.
Yeah, so we will start. It's not like... We do want to. I do want to. We just kind of need to find the time.
And listen,
I need to get myself to do it.
We've put out 200 episodes of podcasts, including all the bonus ones. We've never asked for anything, so if people have to wait a little, we've never asked for anyone to do anything for us.
All you gotta do is wait.
You just gotta wait, and we'll get around to putting out more.
Unless you like really demand it and say some mean things.
Completely free content that we keep spitting out. So if people have to wait, they'll wait. I'm sure.
We'll get it soon though.
We will.
I'm looking forward to starting that.
We will. All right. So thanks again for checking us out. We'll be back here, same time, same place next week for episode 159. And until then, everybody, take care.